Going live early. Welcome, everybody. welcome. As always, I'm going to give a few minutes for everybody to get up in here. Actually, while we're waiting on people, I guess let me copy and paste this in the thing. It might even get out more. So paste the live session in the community tab. So it might reach people, even more people at the same time. As soon as I can get over there and get the link. There we go. Get shareable link. And I'm going to paste it in there. Bam. All right. Hello. Mox, Jewel, Quentin. How are you guys today? Thank you for joining. Waiting for everybody getting in here. What's up, Nick? Hello, Xavier. Welcome. Welcome to SMD, the personal finance channel that is unlike any personal finance channel on YouTube. No match, nothing. And that's not even bragging. It just is. And I do it all just with the math that we all learned in grade school. That's the only thing. That's the difference between me and an unconscious slave. Unconscious slaves choose to be slaves because they are choosing not to trust mathematics. That's why they're unconscious slaves. They're unconscious because they don't trust math and they don't know they don't trust math. That's what makes them unconscious. They don't even know it. Now, what I've discovered is this. Unconscious slaves, they don't see negative numbers. They don't even know negative numbers exist. 0 and below, that's part of the numbering scale, right? That's part of the numbering scale. And they don't know 0, -1, -2. They don't know those numbers exist. Because if they did, now follow me, if they did, they would know they're not homeowners with 30-year mortgages. They would know that. See that? Isn't that crazy? They would know that. But since millions of people are walking around calling themselves homeowners with 30-year mortgages, they obviously don't see negative numbers because what they're saying is not mathematically true. And they don't even know it. Hence, unconscious slaves. See how that works? Get a drink of water before we get started. Thank you for being here today. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. The debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt, financing everything that goes down in value, and still wondering why they're living paycheck to paycheck. They just can't figure it out. It can't be those car payments. It can't be that student loan that I've been paying on for the last 20 years of my life. No, it can't be that. It can't be all these credit cards that I'm bragging about the balances on and that I'm making payments on, whatever amount of interest I'm paying. It can't be that. Now, this is where I lived for the first 40 years of my life. I was a 6-figure college educated, 6-figure earning slave. All that followed all the rules of the debt matrix, all of them. And once I reached the so-called 6-figure top and college educated, whatever, nice car, nice place to live, that was supposed to be the top. That's why slaves always talk about 6 figures. Hey, does that girl make 6 figure? That guy makes 6 figures? Because they believe 6 figures is a lot. That's why they always say it. But they don't know that they're saying it. Why? Because they are unconscious slaves. I made it there. Got there, I said, is this it? So I get here, work a job until I'm dead, and then I enjoy my life? I said, no, that can't be it. I said it out loud to myself. I said, this cannot be it. This cannot. I refuse to accept this. This cannot be it. Once I said that to myself out loud, everything changed for me right at that moment. I had no idea it did, but it did. Woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, hey, take the math that you learned in grade school and apply it to your finances and you'll win with money. And that's exactly what I did. And now I'm free. So now now that I'm free, I start discovering a whole different financial world that exists. Okay. I now know money in any form doesn't exist for slaves. Nothing exists for slaves. Nothing. This can be proven. If your finances are in a negative, you own nothing, according to mathematics. And math is an exact science. It means math is never, ever, ever wrong. Ever. You either agree with math or you're wrong. There is no in between. Once I realized that, this is what I share to people now. And let me clearly help you understand something. If you are a person that has not a clue of how much debt you're in, you are an unconscious slave. If your finances are in the negative and you don't even know what they are, no money, anything in your life exists. It's a mathematical illusion. And remember, everything I'm saying, I can prove. Okay? This is what I do. I change people's lives forever. And not only their lives, their children's lives, their grandchildren's lives. This is a generational change because I promise you this. Once you step out the debt matrix, there is no fucking going back to that shit. Hell no. There's no going back to that. You won't even hang around slaves. They're slaves. You won't care what a slave drives. You won't care where a slave lives. You won't care how big a slave's house is. Who cares? They're just slaves. Slaves in a big house. Slave driving a nice car. Slave dressed in Gucci. Who cares? I don't care how slaves dress. I don't care where slaves live. There is no going back. Your whole world will change. And when you get out of the debt matrix, you will clearly see there are a different set of financial rules over here. There's a whole different set of rules. I promise you, a whole different. And I promise you this, if you're making 20-year-old student loan payments, you will never understand this fucking world ever. You will never see it ever. You will never see this world ever. I promise you. You will forever believing you will ever walk through life, will not even ever realizing there's 7 days in a week and your employer owns 5 of them. You'll never look at a week and say, hey, wait a minute. You own more of my life than me? You'll never understand. You'll never even know to ask that question because you're an unconscious slave. You'll never understand that Saturday and Sunday are not special. They're not anything. They're just fucking days of the week. And there's 7 of them, and your employer owns 5, and you maybe own 2. You'll never understand. You'll never be able to look at that and say, hey, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Sure doesn't. Anyway, once you step out, you can start seeing things that are different. I don't know how to explain it. So you look at the title of this video, Kamala Harris, Vice President, Black woman. In my view, in my what I see, okay, and of course I don't know this because trust me, that's trillions of dollars and generations above my pay grade, okay? So I don't know shit. This is my opinion. This is a guess. Again, for me to ever even know what I'm about to say, that is trillions of dollars and generations above my pay grade. So I'm nowhere near to those kind of decision making. Okay. Let's just make sure that's clear. But once you get out of debt, you can see things very differently. Okay. Did you just see how it flows? You see which way it goes. It just is. Now, when President Trump Now you got to understand let's make sure you guys understand this. Once you get out of the debt matrix, you don't pay attention to all of the distractions. Democrat, Republican, voting for this person because they're black and they're white, or they got this background. You don't care about none of that shit. You don't listen to any of that. You just listen to what makes sense and what doesn't. That's it. Now, when President Trump became president, first, when he was running, I was like, there's no way in hell that would ever happen. And then it happened. And then he started just doing things that presidents just don't do, like tweet stuff and fight back with other people online. And that kind of shit just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, why would the president do that? That doesn't make, I just watch. That never made sense. Or the things just that he just did as president. I just didn't get it. I was like, wow, that doesn't make sense. But then in the end, I'm thinking, okay, by this time, the whole country is just damn near up in chaos. It's to the point to where they will almost accept anybody in the presidential seat. The country's in chaos. Okay, we'll vote for anybody. Let's just get Trump out of there, and the country will get better. It has to, or whatever. Who knows what people think? I don't know. I'm just guessing. This is just a guess. Okay, I'm just observing. And then now we have President Biden, right? Okay, I need you. Okay, I need to also explain to you about awareness. Okay, awareness is a look. If you don't know what awareness is, I can't really explain it to you. But awareness is a look, and Kamala has that look. She has that look. I don't know how to explain it. It's just there. Okay. And then we got President Biden. It's like, wait a minute. Okay. I, I, I don't get why he's there. I just don't. I can't figure it out. I'm like, why is he there? He almost looked like every time he come off the stage, it's like there's a wheelchair behind the stage waiting for him. Just the shit like that just doesn't make sense. And then let me explain something to you too. If I'm looking like that, never once do I think I'm the only person looking at him like that. Never once do I think that. That's impossible. And if I see that, I know other people have to see that. Because I'm not special. I just see something that many people don't see. And I'm like, so I'm thinking, okay, does it look like he's going to make it all the way to his end of his term? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he might get sick. And if he has to step down, who's going to be president? Kamala. So this is what I'm thinking in my head. So I'm thinking, okay, let me pay attention to what she's doing. Oh, women's rights and nothing negative. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just paying attention to these things, right? Women's rights, change old laws and rules, and then also the latest one of the what did I post there? Just a second, let me make sure I wrote that down. When she just uses her casting vote to pass the COVID relief budget resolution, right? So somebody, because I don't watch the news, so somebody brought that to my attention. So I said, damn, what a move. So I started thinking into it further. I was thinking, what could calm the country down What could calm this whole what could calm this whole country down right now? Because right now it's up in turmoil, right? What bomb could calm this whole country down? A black woman president. Women are more emotional than men, right? Can you imagine how much emotional energy would be calmed down just by that one move alone? And then you add that she's a woman of color. You add that on in there, spice it in there, and it just, eh, what I'm saying? And Nancy would be her vice president. Something, something. If Kamala, if Kamala raced, she probably would never get it, right? Not only if Biden steps down because of health risks or whatever, not health risks, but health problems, right? And she steps up, this is not her term. So she could finish this term. She could be the first black woman president running for 3 terms. The current one right now, which doesn't count against her 2 terms. This is what I see. Okay. Now, of course, this is, again, I want to make sure this is clear. This is 100% my opinion. It could only be because that kind of decision making is trillions of dollars and generations above my pay grade. My great grandchildren will never know that answer, and they're not even born yet. When you come outside the debt matrix, it's different. Everything's different. Yeah, it's the same, but it's different. It's not the same as you. You won't get caught up with all of the noise because I promise you. Let me explain something to you. There is a ton of noise out there. Pay attention to the things that people don't pay attention to. Like, let me give you an example. When you hear these people talk about, the politicians, right? See if they even pronounce the vice president's name correctly. See how many of the people just pronounce her name wrong. If they're talking about politics and they don't even bother how to pronounce the vice president's name properly, that should tell you everything they really know about politics. It's crazy. I hear people talk about it all the time on the news, saying their name all wrong. But if you pay attention, and this is what I want you guys to really understand, okay? You'll hear everybody pay now, and then now you take the time to view the people that are pronouncing her name correctly. Like listen to Obama, okay? Find a video of Obama talking about Kamala, right? You will clearly see he pronounces her name correctly. All of the important people do, because that shit is important. That says a lot. You couldn't take a few seconds just to say, hey, instead of following all the unconscious slaves pronouncing her name wrong, how about I just take a moment to see if it's right? It only take a second. I see it happening. That's what I see. Seems clear to me, man. Every time I see President Biden up on stage, man, I just be like, I just like, okay, well, I don't get it. I don't get it. But when I open my scope and I look at Kamala, and I'm like, okay, that's the move. That's the move that I would do. That's the exact move I would do. I'd be like, hey, I place her here, the whole country calms down. Oh, not the whole country, but at least 80%. Everything, I hope everybody see everything's changed. The world is the way you, if you're walking around here talking about, hey man, I can't wait till things get back to normal, you better stop saying that out loud in public. There are people out there just like me that hear you talk like that. And when you talk like that, you know what you're saying? I'm a slave. Nothing stops evolution. Nothing. Everything evolves. If you don't evolve with it, you are getting left. When she becomes president, you guys ain't seen no man. Imagine how much, man, a black woman president. I can only tell you. Imagine how this United States is going to change. Now I have to go back because I don't really follow politicians. I don't follow politics, right? But now I have to go back and just watch what she's been doing her whole career to be here where she's at today. Now I got to go figure out what she's been doing, what she's been. I don't care about the Democrat Republican stuff. I don't really care about that. I'm talking about the things that she's doing. I might care about, okay, which side is she doing it on? Okay, she keeps pointing at Democrats. Now I got to go read what Democrats believe in because I don't really care. But now I do. Okay, what do Democrats believe in? Blah, blah, blah. They believe in this. Don't do that. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Because that's where it's going. So it doesn't matter if you like her or you don't like her. It really, put it this way. If you are paying, and I need to stress this, okay? This is very important. All right. If you are making car payments, don't worry about what the president is doing. If your student loans are older than your children, don't worry about what they're doing up there. Don't worry about it. It's none of your fucking business. You're a slave. See, she says Kamala is not an emotional politician. An emotional politician does not raise to the position she's in. Don't. Yay, that's right. I can see it. Awareness is. I keep telling people this. Awareness is a look. Like when you guys see me get on this mic, I don't care what slaves think. I don't care. And what I'm really saying is this: I don't care how slaves feel about mathematics. I don't care. I don't care how they don't feel about. I don't care how they feel about mathematics. If you guys keep involving your feelings with your money or people that steal your time, you're not gonna get to where you want to get to in this side of things. I'm telling you, on this side of things, let me tell you, they understand emotions are not to be involved, especially when it comes to the truth. Do not involve feelings. ATL says you're all crazy to think Kamala Harris cares about black people. She only uses blackness and see this ATL. This is what I want to tell you something. I don't think she's thinking about any of that stuff. That's people that do that stuff. That's people that that believe it has something to do with color. They really believe that. They think, oh man, she don't like black. They think it has something to do with color. Ain't got nothing to do with color. I know you guys won't understand this, but if you have car payments, don't worry about what Kamala is doing. People start involving their feelings. Oh, I don't feel this way. As soon as you hear somebody give a statement and they use the word feel, you remove their statement from your brain because they're only telling you their version of how they feel about something, which is 100% irrelevant. In my prediction, she will be president. That seems like the obvious move to me. Seemed like the smart move to me. What this casting vote did, I was like, damn, she's lining it right up. She did that cast vote. You know what I saw? She was lining the pins up. Think of a bowling alley, right? You know how far you start back, you got that line, and then you're supposed to roll the ball to hit the pins down. No, she's right up on the pins. There is no line for her. She gets to get as close as she wants to with the biggest ball that she wants to use. She don't have to use the standard bowling ball. She can use a ball that takes up the whole lane. That's what I see. Do I care if she's there? No, don't matter. And check this out. It wouldn't even matter if I did. Oh man, yeah, I don't really want Kamala on the. I don't care. It doesn't matter what I think. That decision. Hey, check this out. In my opinion, that decision was probably made. That decision was probably made when she was born. I know you guys think that's probably like some movie shit, but it's not. You get out of debt, you'll see. You get out of debt, you'll be like, oh damn, really? Yep, really. They already put her on Time Magazine, unheard of for. Look at that. Makes sense to me. You guys don't see the pins getting lined up? You guys still don't see it. You don't see the pins getting set up. You still don't see it, huh? Okay, well, whatever. I want you guys to listen to this video and be like, damn, LJ said that shit like a year or two ago. I don't know how long it's going to take. I can't say it's going to happen next month. I'm just saying it's going to happen. And then when it does, you come back to this video and be like, how the fuck did he know that? Because I could see it. I'm telling you, every time I see President Biden speaking on the podium, I just say to myself, I don't get it. I don't get it. No, it's nothing to do with seeing him read the teleprompter and all that stuff, because he's really good at that. It's nothing to do with that. I look at him, I say, I don't get it. But the move with Kamala, it just makes sense to me. Better keep an eye on what she's doing. Time Magazine, damn, lining that shit right on up. She already broke the first black woman vice president. Already, that record's done. Now she's gonna be the first black woman president that served 3 terms or 2.5 or however long it takes. Long as it's over 2, it could be 2 in a day. It doesn't matter. And probably go down in history of that never, ever, ever happening again. Not at least in our lifetime that we'll know. We can't say forever as long as we're alive. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Forever, like I will know if it happened again 200 years from today or something. So if you find yourself getting emotional about me predicting that, you're fucking up. You got to ask yourself, why are my emotions involved? That's what you got to say to yourself. And then you know what else you got to start saying to yourself? Damn, why do I believe this house is mine even though I got a 30-year mortgage? Why am I paying on my student loans for the last 20 years and I only went to college for 4? Why am I doing that? Once you figure out that answer, all the other answers will wake you up. But once you get out of the debt matrix, you'll see who counts and who doesn't. I promise you. Once you get out of the debt matrix, you look and you turn around and look back at it, it just looks like a gigantic fucking farm herd of people just wandering around aimlessly, not knowing where the hell they're going. They're just following what they hear and what all the other slaves telling them and just believing them. You'll see how it all works. I'm telling you, this is a superpower. You can show a slave right to their face using their own calculator, using their own hand, and they still won't believe you. You think slaves have any kind of say so what really goes on here? Hell no. They know they don't. No, they don't. And let me explain something else to you about the system. Okay? It's just there. It favors those who favor mathematics. That's it. Politicians are there for you to point your finger at. Slaves, if they were not in place, you'd have nobody to point at, and then you'll realize it's just you. All you gotta do is go and look in the mirror. That's all you gotta do. Just go look in the mirror. Right there. That's your problem. Right there. Yeah, in the mirror. If politicians wasn't there, you'd be like, oh, I have nobody to point my finger at. And then you'll start looking at yourself. We can't have that. Can't have that. That cannot happen. You got to believe this politician or whoever you're voting for, whatever, it's going to fix your financial life, fix your situation. When the only person that can fix it is you. You can fix it. But if you don't believe that and believe somebody else can, whatever. Son of Israel, you got a point, LJ. I'm not even that interested in this, and I have things I need to do. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You pay attention to the now. Don't get me wrong. Let me make sure you guys this is clear too. I'm not saying ignore the politicians, what they do or what they're doing. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying they are placed there in the position. Do they have more power than you and I? Yes, that's just the way it is. Okay, yes. I want you guys to understand this too. Like when you think about this, the laws, every law, I know it says it, laws apply to everyone, but they don't. They don't. That's just the way it is. Period. I accept that. I understand that. You think the laws apply to the people that make the laws? No, it does. It doesn't work that way. I promise you, it doesn't. I promise you, it does. It doesn't. Speaking of slaves, banks are giving our data to the FBI. Who cares? When people say that, and I'm not saying just you, Citizen Lou, but if the bank were giving my information to the FBI, I don't care. So what? I'm following the rules. I'm following the laws. Because let me make sure everybody, this is clear to everybody too. When you get out of debt, I need to make sure this is crystal clear. Once you get out of debt, you will realize money doesn't exist. Time is the most valuable thing on earth. Time. One day I'm going to be dead. That's a guarantee. I don't even know when. So why would I break the law, especially financially? When slaves are just unconscious slaves are giving away money. Why would I break the law that would compromise the time of my life? Hey, tax evasion, you go to prison, so you better not do it. Okay, cool. I won't be doing none of that. Especially when you know money doesn't exist, you're definitely not going to go to jail behind some financial crimes. I promise you. You're not going to do that. I promise you, you're not. Slaves are giving away money, and you're going to go to prison behind a financial crime? Hell no. Hell no. So I wouldn't care what they got. Hey, Linnell was doing this. Yeah, so what? We already knew that. People think people think they don't already have your information, like some source. They had to get it from some source to get access. No. Your US ID tells them everything. You cannot participate in the game without your US ID number. That's why when you're born, you're stamped with it. There you go. This is yours. Yep. This is how we're going to keep track of you. This is your number. You cannot participate. You can't work. You can't do anything if you don't have this number, period. So when they want to know anything about you, they just run that number. They don't have to go into any special database. I know it looks like that. Okay. I know it seems like that. They just run that number. Hey, that's it. Have you ever, let me give you a better perspective. Have you ever heard of a hacker hacking into the social security number database? Have you ever had that happen? I've never heard that happen before, ever. I've never heard of anybody hacking into the credit report database, taking everybody's numbers, jumping up credit scores, people who had horrible, and erasing all of it. Have you ever heard of a hacker doing that? Because it's never going to fucking happen. It's never going to happen. If a hacker did that, let me promise you something. If a hacker did that, you will never know about it. You probably never see him or her, because they'll be forever indebted to the entity that owns it. Hey, you work for us, you go to prison for the rest of your life. What's your choice? Okay. You're going to work for us and you're going to shut the fuck up. Yeah. Okay. Or you go to prison. Which one you want? All right. I'll take the one and won't say nothing. You're right. I better not hear anybody ever talking about what you did. Things are going to change, man. Things are going to change. When she becomes president, things are going to change. I don't know how they're going to change. I don't know. I can see a lot of things changing right now, right? Okay. I'm trying to. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Okay, I'm predicting her presidency. Pelosi is VP. I think she's. I can't remember if she is or they vote on the VP. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to, because I don't really study the government structure until I have to, right? Until it's important, right? So for me right now, it's important to study Kamala. It's important for me to study her career. I got to figure out, so I can figure out this angle or whatever, right? But I walked into Walmart, this neighborhood Walmart, the other day, and I walk in, it's looking all different. I was like, wait a minute, there's absolutely no manned cash registered anymore. They completely removed cash registers. They're all self-checkout. Okay? They're all self-checkout. Now, they took, not only did they remove from paying regular cashiers, they got their customers to work for them by bagging their own shit. Now, I thought to myself, okay, how did you guys train me to start checking out my own stuff? Okay. This is how you, when you get out of debt, you'll look at businesses totally different. I said to myself, how did you guys train me to make this transition easy? So I used to go. I remember how everybody used to complain about Walmart have 1,000 registers, but about 2 or 3 people at registers. I was like, damn, that is just an absolute waste of money, right? And I thought to myself, why would Walmart waste that kind of money? That's what I thought to myself. Why would they do that? That doesn't make sense to me, right? And then every now and then I would actually go through a cash register, and they would always have the slowest, most non-attentive cash register person at that register. It would make me so frustrated to go through a cash register for a person that I would just naturally gradually just go over to and check out myself because it was faster. Yes, it was faster because I got to move as fast as I wanted. Okay. And I was like, damn, that's how they did it. So now when they went fully no cashiers, I was like, whatever. But it amazed me. So I thought, and then there was another moment. I saw a machine moving by itself, and this is in Walmart, washing the floors and taking inventory at the same time, scrubbing the floors while it's taking inventory as it goes by the shelves, because it was built in with a whole bunch of cameras. I'm like, what the? And now I think, okay, all right. The economy's changed. The transition from joining the new tax system to the new economy is here. This economy favors employers, big businesses. Big businesses are in charge right now. Why are they in charge? Because millions of people are out of work. Millions of people out of small businesses are out. So now many people have to change careers. So now there are millions of people looking for work. So now big businesses can pretty much pay you what the fuck they want to pay you now. Hey, I know we used to pay this, but now we pay minimum wage. Do you want it or not? Because there's about 50 people behind you waiting to get this same job. That's why during the COVID thing, small businesses had to close down. Maybe Kamala, not Kamala, but Kamala's gonna swoop in and maybe save them. Maybe, I don't know. This is a prediction. I don't know. Big changes. Let me say what's up to a few people up in here. Now I'm gonna post a invite in here, and I want some participation. Maybe you don't think so. Maybe you want to ask me some question of why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. Here's the link. If you want to jump up and participate today, and we can talk about it. But that's my prediction, man. It's happening to me. That's in my eyes. It's happening because it just makes sense. She is clearly aware. Clearly, you can see it in the eyes. I just see it. That's what I see, man. I don't see it in President Biden's eye. I just don't see it. I don't see an awareness, and I want you guys to understand something. Awareness is not saying, hey, you're smart or something, or hey, because you went to this college. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. What's up, Big Truck? I can't hear you if you're talking. Hmm. I do not hear you. Oh wait, let me make sure make sure it's not me.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now I
Good
can.
afternoon. Good
I think it was
afternoon. Good
me. My
afternoon.
bad. My
Good
bad. I think it was
afternoon.
me.
Good afternoon.
Hey,
Oh well, let me tell you something. Believe it or not, and people who do know me know that I knew this a long time ago. And this is actually really crazy how things turned out. Long before, back when the Democratic National Convention was getting together and they were trying to pick who they were going to pick as, how should I say, as candidates in order to run for the nomination. I actually was for Kamala Harris, and I expected her to end up being running at the top of the ticket, right? But,
Kamala.
but yeah, listen, however you pronounce it, yeah, Kamala. Listen, I'll call her Miss Harris if I got to. But anyway,
Okay. See? Okay.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't know. Listen, I honestly don't know. I personally remember a lot of things, but certain times when it comes to pronouncing people's names, I never remember it. Whatever. But anyway, I expected her to be at the top of the
Yeah,
ticket.
regular people. I
Yes,
understand that with regular people. Yeah, she's not a
right,
regular
right.
person.
I expected her to be at
Go
the
ahead
top
now.
of the ticket. But what happened was I realized that I wasn't hearing any information coming from her. And if you remember, all of the energy was coming out of Bernie Sanders. And keep in mind, I hate Bernie Sanders. I did not want him running. I did not want him there because, as far as I was concerned, he ruined the election in 2016 for Hillary. Now, you can have whatever feelings about Hillary you want, but the reality was Bernie Sanders got in there. He split the party into these progressives and these socialist progressives, and then the other part of the party. They were serious. They knew they could not run a serious campaign with Bernie Sanders because this socialist Democrat nonsense is ridiculous, and they call him a communist, this, that, and other. I'd even called up Al Sharpton's show, and I told him I'm really annoyed that I think Kamala Harris should be running, but she sucks at campaigning. And then when you really think about it, she was never really a campaigner because that was never what she was. She was always like a prosecutor or working in law, but she was no good at campaigning at all. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders is just up there promising you free stuff and promising you paying off college and this, that, and other. And all the energy was with him. So anyway, once coronavirus came around and flipped the entire script, and you saw how they made Joe Biden say that, listen, if we elect you, you have to pick a woman or a woman of color to be your VP. They locked him in. And as soon as I realized that Biden got the nomination, I was like, you know what? He's going to have to pick Kamala Harris because there's no other women of color up there. He can't pick Warren. He couldn't pick Klobuchar. He couldn't pick what's her name? The one who came from Hawaii and screwed up Kamala Harris, kept attacking her. Not Gifford.
I know you're talking about.
Well, no, nobody even remembers this woman's name anymore. See, that's the thing that got me. This bitch came out of nowhere, and she shut Kamala Harris's campaign down and did a lot of damage to her every time Kamala Harris got forward in the polls. But the thing about it was, this lady came out of nowhere, came out of Hawaii, came out basically nowhere, did that damage, and then disappeared. And the one, like, they had Warren attack Sanders, and
her name's Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, right. Nobody remembers her name. But anyway, Kamala Harris, as far as being president, I'm not worried about it because, number one, this whole thing about marijuana legalization, I bought my positions in marijuana. All of those things have started to go up ever since the election, since Trump lost. So I'm not worried about it at all. But the women's movement at this point, whatever you want to call it, women's movement, Me Too movement, whatever, Kamala Harris is the absolute perfect foil for them. And I guess, it's hard. What this is what gets me. She was a prosecutor. She prosecuted people. She put people in jail. But what's funny is the very same people who march lockstep with Black Lives Matter, they've accepted her because she's an AKA, Alpha Kappa Alpha, and they accepted her as a quote-unquote woman of color. And most of them will even say, oh, she's a black woman, despite the fact that she's up there, she's half Indian, but her father is a black Jamaican man, and she has a white husband. So I just think it's funny that the liberals, for the most part, are willing to go against their own belief system or value system just because she's presented to them in a certain way. And I always call that to their attention, but they pretty much ignore it every time I say it. But as for her being possibly being president soon, I was counting on that like a year ago. Absolutely. So what's going on now? Oh, no, I'm fine with it. Absolutely fine with it.
What's up, Citizen Lou? What you got?
What's up,
Something? You got something? What's going on?
Nothing, man. I had a lot to say in the comment section. I just wanted to go ahead and just say it on the mic. Kamala, I know you said you didn't know a lot about her. Well, she also slept. She had an affair with the old mayor of San Francisco,
Willie Brown, right?
Yeah, Willie Brown, right? So that's how she became a prosecutor. She was making like $70,000 a year, working like 8 hours a week, stuff like that. She was getting worked out. So this is what she does. In 2018, she was in the newspaper, it said she was the first Indian female senator. It didn't say black, it said Indian. So this is one of these flip-flop part-time black, do a two-step dance at the cookout with black people, then go be Indian the rest of the week, type situations. And I wanted to say too, on The Simpsons, it was predicted when Trump lost, Lisa had became president. So that's might be a little something to chew on, I guess. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. So yeah, she's probably definitely gonna be president.
Well,
in the comments, Lou, you asked me why do I want an Indian lady as president. Me personally, I don't play identity politics. I really don't care what she is, honestly.
Hold on, let me step in there. Let me make sure people understand something. It's very important to understand her name or pronounce her name correctly. I want you guys to make sure that's clear. All right, those of you listening in the background, that is very important because she will be president, right? When I hear things like, and I'm not saying anything negative, Citizen Lou, but when I hear you speak like, oh yeah, she had an affair and she claims she's Indian over here, the first thing I think, isn't she half Indian? It's like, to me, in my mind, who gives a fuck what she claims? You want to claim black over there? I don't care. She's her. She can be anything she want to be. I really don't care. When people do that, and I want people to understand this, that is part of the plan.
Yeah,
for you guys to follow the obstacles, whether she's claiming black or Indian, that's for you so you guys can't see the true purpose. There's a truer purpose. When you guys start focusing on that kind of stuff, man, I'm telling you, that's part of the plan because it really doesn't matter.
But I was gonna say though, it kind of does matter if you call somebody
to
black
you. Yes,
black.
It does to you. I can clearly, Citizen Lou, and I'm agreeing with you. It clearly tells me that it bothers you.
LJ, let me tell you something.
That's
LJ.
cool. I mean, that's cool.
LJ, me personally, I don't really care so much about the identity politics at all. But let me tell you something. I've noticed that there is an underlying misogynistic, and especially in black men, I've noticed. And listen, everybody's entitled to vote for whoever they want, but they were saying the same things about Hillary Clinton. And back in 2016, the rhetoric that I heard, like I was in the barbershop and there were black men, some from Africa, whatever, and they would openly say, women shouldn't be running anything. And I'm like, well, listen, if the person is qualified, the Constitution says only you got to be 35, you have to be an American citizen born in America, and that's it. That's in my opinion, you should have to be a governor first, but the Constitution is written in a way where it's like the people should be able to vote for whoever they want to represent them, right? So even though I would like to put a stop on it and say, listen, you have to be a governor for at least one term, the reality is there was nothing stopping. There was no logical reason why somebody like Hillary or somebody like Harris couldn't be president, right? I don't play identity politics. And I got people coming at me like, oh, well, why would you want a woman as president? Or why would you want Indian? And they're talking about how not black she was. They were saying the same thing about Barack Obama. They were saying, oh, he's not black enough. So as far as I'm concerned, hold on. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care about, let me just say it like this. I don't care about the identity politics. I voted for her. I voted for Biden. I don't care about the identity politics. And That's just it. So
Okay,
go
cool.
ahead.
Yeah, I was wanting to say, I mean, you say you don't care, but they're using identity politics. So it's not like you can't say that you don't care about it, but they're using it to get elected. I mean,
Of course,
that's
and
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
right.
What's up?
They are, and that's important too. It's important to use it. That's important.
And that's all I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, if I'm a Star Wars fan, you know, and then people are using Star Wars in a very disingenuous and misleading way, I mean, you would get offended. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not misogynist. I'm not a misogynist at all. I think women can be in roles of leadership. I just don't think women who sleep their way to the top and give women a poor name in leadership should be elected. That's all I'm saying.
So
I'll tell you what, Citizen Lou.
hold up, Big Truck. Hold up, Big Truck.
Okay, go ahead.
So Citizen Lou. So this is what I want you to think about. Okay, if Kamala said 1 + 1 = 2, but I slept my way to the top, does that have anything to do with her answer?
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, then. So anything outside of that is just how you feel. And this is what I want to say to you, Citizen Lou. I'm saying this. If that takes energy, believe it or not, for you to care about something that you don't really need to bother to care about, right? It's taking away energy from yourself, from doing what you need to do to make yourself free.
No,
right?
Oh, go ahead.
Because I promise you this. And this is not to say anything negative, I just want you to see something. If you are making student loan payments, your opinion about what they're doing at that, where they're at in this whole map of life here, the way our structure is, trust me, you don't count. So you're wasting precious energy to free yourself. You understand?
No, I'm with you.
Well, and LJ, you bring up that, well, LJ,
go ahead, Big Truck. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead, Big Truck.
No, I was just saying, okay, so LJ's bringing up the student loan situation because I'm sure you're watching and they're talking about they want to cancel out like what, $50,000 per person or whatever. Bottom line, like here's the problem that I have. As it's been starting, even if I go back to 2008 and work my way forwards to what they did with coronavirus, they spent $6 trillion within the last year, right? If they really, really wanted to, and they were really serious about stopping the spread, they literally could have handed every American family, they could have handed you $30,000 and told you to stay home and ride it out and not have to worry about working and everything. But they didn't do that. What they did was they paid the corporations off and they just left the country to deal with whatever debt that they have. Right now, they spent $6 trillion with a T. Now, student loan debt, now granted, I'm one of the most outspoken people I know about how annoyed I am that they've allowed these kids to go to these party schools and this, that, and the other. And student loan debt is around 1.7 trillion, but I'll just round it up to 2 trillion, right? I'll round it up to $2 trillion. Here's the thing. I knew that they were going to end up eventually being forced to cancel out student loan debt one way or another. And the reason why is because now you're dealing with an entire generation, in fact, 1.5 generations of people who are not able to be the slaves that you're talking about simply because they can't get any, like for instance, you're talking about them as slaves and saying, okay, if you're buying this stuff on finance, you're buying Apple phones, you're buying watches, you're buying all the stuff on finance, and you're using an Apple card, you're a slave, right? Problem is they can't create these slaves because the debt that's on their head has already made them slaves somewhere else. So the slaves that they want to create, they have to free up those slaves to create the slaves that they need. So I knew that they were going to have to do something about the student loan thing sooner or later. I think like they can say, okay, yeah, $50,000, that's too much or whatever. But ultimately, the government has to do something about it because otherwise they can't sell these cars. They can't sell these houses because these kids are in debt until they're 40. They can't, some of them in debt till they're 50. They can't sell this stuff.
See, but listen. Okay, listen. With the student loan debt, right? First of all, that's never going to happen. You're not going to forgive any of it. Okay, not 10,000, not 20,000.
They forgave me.
This is what people are not seeing because they don't know how to see it. I can only imagine. I bet you the numbers are in the record numbers of people applying for student loans right now. Guaranteed.
Of course.
They're going through now. If we had the data of the record number of people applying for student loans and getting them, because they might be pausing payments and pausing interest, but they're not pausing applications. And what's the first thing with millions of people that just lost their career? They think, oh shit, I got to go back to school and so I can get a better job. That's their first thought. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to go get student loans. And then what they do is throw out the word, hey, we're going to forgive student loans, which they're never going to do it. All they got to do is just say it. And slaves are going to believe it. And then they're going to sign up thinking their student loans are going to be forgiven. Some of it's going to be forgiven when none of it's going to be forgiven. That's student loans are how they create slaves.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. But guess what? The problem is if what I'm saying is the student loans that are owed to the government, because keep in mind, the government can't deal with the private ones.
Student loans are the retirement accounts of the wealthy.
Well, okay. Well, the government had me, for instance, paying, what was it, like 6.5% back when I had loans. And they ended up forgiving $10,000 because I had to be an indentured servant for like 5 years in the system. In fact, my sister has her law degree based on the fact that she worked pro bono for 5 years or whatever. And they sent her the checks to pay off her loan. So both me and my sister are student loan free. They do forgive student loans, but they usually
How long did you have your student loans, though? How long did you have them?
I graduated in 2005, and I think I finished paying them off in 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
How many years was that?
13 minus 5, what, 7?
5. And see how you think you got some money off? Ain't that crazy how they do that?
Well, listen,
they make you believe that. And you had your student loan for 13 years, and you still believe you got some money off.
Well, my thing was I did my best to pay them off early because I didn't actually start paying them until I finished grad school. So even though I graduated college in 2005, I went to school for another 4 years to get 2 master's degrees, right? Because you got to understand, here in New York, certain jobs, if you don't have master's degrees or whatever, you just don't get up the pay scale as quickly. But the bottom line was, when I started paying them off, I was only paying them off maybe like 4 years, maybe not even 5 total. And once I had done the 5 years of indentured servitude, they canceled out like $10,000 worth. But I still had to pay off the private loans that I had. So I paid off the private loans on the side while they were canceling off like $10,000 to $13,000 worth of the federal ones.
Citizen
okay, you
Lou,
hear what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, Citizen Lou, how much longer you got before yours are gone? How many more years?
I'm shooting till July of this year.
This year they're gonna be gone.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I want you to do, man. I want you to concentrate. Try to stay away from the obstacles. Trying to take your mind away and because I promise you, concentrate on paying them student loans off. Right, your whole view of everything's gonna change. I promise you, it's gonna change. You won't get caught up in your feelings like that with what she's doing or who she fuck or whatever.
Well, I wasn't in my feelings really. I mean, I was in my feelings. Y'all said I was a misogynist. That's what got me in my feelings.
It is because you're talking about it, right? You're just talking because you tell
the name of the stream is Kamala will be president. I mean, I don't know what.
Well, no, I wasn't calling you a misogynist. I was pointing out the misogyny that I've seen related to this.
Oh, okay. Because I don't want that.
When I say this, like when I see Kamala, when I saw she had a white husband, she's half black, she's half Indian. I just think, okay, why are they putting this whole mix in the picture? That's the only thing I think. I don't care that she's married to a white man. I don't give a shit. That's none of my business. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
And I'm with you.
I just wonder why they're placed there.
Right, exactly, and that's my whole thing. Like they're putting it in our face for, like you said, and it's okay. I'm with you. I'm with you, AJ. I'm with you.
Yeah, you just got to remove your feelings, because a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, look at her married to that white man." The only thing I think is, okay, why are they there together? What's the purpose? I mean, they might love each other. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, why is it there? That's it. And I promise you, once you take your focus off the obstacles, man, money's gonna flow to you. It's gonna flow to you.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Like I said, right. I was really just coming on because you said you was gonna do some research on and I was just giving you some.
No, I appreciate it. No,
that's all it was.
And I say, and I'm glad you did, but my research It has nothing to do with what she's doing in her personal life. I don't care who she fucked. I don't. I want to see what she's been doing legally, like in her career, what she do, or what she do that was good, what she do that was bad. I don't know. And bad, good versus what I read to versus bad, good. I don't know what that means, but I just want to see what she's done throughout her career, and that's going to tell me what she's going to do in the presidency.
Exactly. And I want to say this too, though. The Indian thing is very relevant. I know you guys were saying it is relevant because I'm gonna tell you why, because they just what was it, 500,000 H-1B1 visas from India just gonna get approved.
Yeah, but now that would have happened without her though.
Yeah, you're right, because they did pass that in December, didn't they?
LJ, do you see that screen I was sharing?
Oh, yeah, just a second.
So yeah, like that.
Is that the thing?
Letter.
I didn't see a black screen though. As you see,
I didn't see a black screen, but yeah, I don't see a black screen, bro.
Hold on.
Navy.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the payoff letter from Navient, because it used to be Sally Mae. So when I was paying on it, it was Sally Mae, and then when they changed the name, that's the one that they gave me. But here's my thing though. See, the only way to deal with the student loan situation is to take the government out of student loans. But another avenue that you got to think about it on. They've given most of these jobs and these factories away to these other countries. In my opinion, they're using school as a way to keep people out of the job market.
You done with this screen, Big Truck?
What?
You done with this screen?
Oh, yeah, you can get rid of it. Right. But anyway, I really feel that what they're doing is they're trying to keep people out of the job market by keeping them in school. And it ultimately backfires, specifically where you see black women staying in school all this time, not marrying, not having a family, delaying childbirth, and doing things to themselves in order to delay childbirth. And then when it comes time that they want to have children, they either can't get a man, they can't get the type of man they want, or their body is so messed up until they can't have children. So I would personally say that until government is out of student loans, you're going to keep having this exact same problem. But at this point, taking government out of student loans is damn near impossible, because basically all of these schools are lobbyists at this point. And they want to make sure, because there's no other way that these kids are going to pay those bills, because their parents are busy wasting all that money in the first place. And when it comes time for them to go to school, all they're doing is writing out loan papers.
The only people that care about government and student loans are people in student loan debt. I don't care if the government. Listen. I'm not in student loan debt, so I don't care if the government's involved in student loan debt. Who cares?
You know why you should care? Because you're a taxpayer.
I don't pay. Slaves pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. Slaves pay taxes. I pay okay, let me make sure I get clear this straight, because people think, oh man, you said you don't pay taxes. No, I pay taxes, but not the same way slaves do. Let me make sure that's clear. Everybody pays taxes because it's against the law. That's called tax evasion. Everybody pays taxes, but everybody doesn't pay taxes the same way slaves pay taxes.
You explain that to me. I don't understand how that works.
What's the best way I can explain?
Are you W-2 or 1099?
No, I'm not talking about that.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's the money that you're taking.
I'm saying I'm not talking about that.
In fact, this morning I went by my CPA to drop my stuff off to him, because I want to sign my taxes off as quickly as possible. So my thing is, I never end up owing, because I have business tax deductions and everything, I make sure I pay whatever it takes to keep the feds off my back. But the bottom line is, I feel that all of us need to be concerned with it, because they're wasting money. They're putting these kids in debt, and it does eventually backfire on us.
See how you say it? They're putting these kids in debt. They're not putting no kids in debt. Their parents are putting them in debt.
Well, you got to remember, the kids can sign these things without their parents.
Who cares?
I have a moron cousin who's an idiot, and she was about to take out enough loans to go to Las Vegas State University or some bullshit. She could barely fucking spell, and I'm like, no, she doesn't.
UNLV.
What?
I was saying the college name.
No. But the bottom line was, these kids can take out these loans without the parents.
It doesn't. Honestly, the bigger picture is, student loans are how they make slaves. Okay,
exactly.
This economy would not run. This economy would not exist. Listen, okay. If everybody knew what I knew, the housing market wouldn't exist. The car loans wouldn't exist. Student loan debt wouldn't exist. None of those things would exist. So we need how they create student loans, because you cannot bankrupt them. You have to use the time in your life to pay them off. If they didn't exist, slaves wouldn't exist.
Yeah, but
it's not a scam. They're not tricking anybody. All a kid has to do is go up to the table and say, "Hey, I'd like to fill out student loan debt or student loans," and they're gonna say, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do." All the kid has to do is pull out a calculator and say, "Okay, damn, if I get a student loan and stay this long, I'm gonna be paying this much." You mean double the price? Yeah. My mom and dad have their student loans for 20 years. How long they've been paying them? That's all they got to put out a calculator and just say no. No, I'm not signing up. No, thank you. And then they walk away. That's it. That's all they got to do. They're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, but what else are they gonna? I mean, well,
and that's my exact point. If they don't,
and I
go
like
to
that.
school,
I like
what
that.
else are
Citizen
they gonna
Lou.
do?
What Citizen Lou says. Then what else are they gonna do? I don't know. Figure the fuck out.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Here in Asia.
Not be a slave.
I started out by saying
I ain't got no choice but to be a slave. I can't go to school. I guess I got to.
No,
be a
you
slave.
you go to the military, but that's slave
The
too.
military is slavery too.
That's what I'm saying. So it's slave shit regardless.
No,
I mean,
LJ, do you understand my point? My point is that they took away the factories, they sent them to Asia, and now they're trying to use the schools.
That's
to
called
keep
evolution.
These people.
That's called
What?
evolution. That's
okay,
called evolution.
fine. But my bottom line is they're trying to use the schools damn near as daycare centers to keep these kids doing something, even if that doing something is raising up debt.
The training camps.
Okay, fine. But my bottom line is there's no real other option.
Well, that's not true, because I'm here talking to you. What do you mean?
Well, but where are these kids going to work? Where are they going to get money?
That doesn't matter. I came up in the same system, and now I'm here on this mic talking to you. There is another option. I'm here talking to you. I'm here.
So here's a question. How do they make money? Where do they live?
You get a job.
Where?
I don't know. Find one. I did it.
But do you understand? That's my whole point. Most of they've made it so that you can't even get a job in many places without having some type of degree, because otherwise you're too big of a liability.
Only slaves think like that.
Yeah, but that's what it is. I live in New York City, bro. That's what it is.
That's cool.
And
you know what? Big truck? We need millions of people to think exactly what you're saying. There is no other way. What are we going to do? No, listen. We need them to say, there is no other way. What are we going to do? Then how are we going to do it with no we need that. That's important. Those same people believe that they can't get a car without financing. That is very important to the economy. Very important.
Okay, so where do they get the money for the car?
Who fucking knows? I don't know.
Who knows? Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You check this out. If I didn't have money for a car, you think I'll be a fucking slave to get it? Hell no. I'll walk and catch the motherfucking bus and won't care what anybody says. Hey, is that LJ on that channel? He's catching the bus. I'll be like, hey, take a picture of me.
Okay, so you're going to ride the bus instead of a car? I have no problem with that. Here's the problem. A Metro card here costs about $200.
Oh God,
you're
going beyond the point. That's not my point. My point is this: I will not be a slave for anything.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying. I mean, there are things you could do, like you go to trade school. You know what I mean? Become an electrician. There's a lot of other things. Create your own job, and there's a lot of you're right. There's a lot of things you could do besides go to school. But I see what Big Truck was saying though. It is. I mean, it is important for everybody though. Like we all do pay taxes, and I mean, you said you don't pay taxes, but I mean,
no, I pay taxes. I didn't say I didn't pay taxes. I just don't pay taxes the same way slaves do.
Right. So you know what I'm saying. So it is kind of an issue. You know, you got all these people.
I still wanted to hear about how you do that. Like, did you figure out a way to explain that to me?
No, I can't explain it.
You can't explain it. Oh man. Because I'm sure everybody
put
would
it
like
this way.
to know.
No, put it this way, Big Truck, and this is nothing against you, okay?
Okay.
I'm saying I can't explain it to you because you like to brag on your credit score. You got it framed.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? And when you understand how it really works, you will understand the credit score don't mean shit.
Okay.
A credit report is just a list of your owners. A credit report is nothing more than an owner's ledger. Those are all the people that invested in you. You are their stock. That's why it's there. A credit score says this slave is worth more than a slave with a 500 credit score. That's it. Nothing more. I would never frame that. That's all.
Well, uh,
Everything I'm saying, I can mathematically prove. I'm not just making it up. I'm not just saying it. I can 100% prove everything I'm saying. Everything. I'm never wrong, ever. Mathematically speaking, of course.
now, yeah, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn.
Pay that student loan debt off, Citizen Lou. Your life is going to change, man. You're going to understand when people come up and start talking about politics and mispronounce the vice president's name.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you too. Since she didn't get elected, right? If she becomes president, she'll be able to serve 3 terms.
Correct.
Yeah,
3 terms. No, I knew it was 3 terms because this one wouldn't count.
Right.
Right, because she would have taken over for the vice president.
Oh, so who becomes vice president if that happens?
Wait, hold on. Go ahead, LJ. Sorry.
No, I thought it was Pelosi, but then again, I read something else that some committee votes or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm thinking it was Pelosi, but then I read something different. So,
because I thought maybe everybody moved up one, but then I don't think that's always the case. You know what I mean? Like if vice president becomes president, does House Speaker become vice? But I don't think it always works like that, though.
I think the president gets to. If I'm correct,
I did read that Nixon got to choose, right?
She can choose.
Yeah, I said that I read that when Nixon resigned, he chose somebody to be vice president, which is weird. But yeah. Well, I guess we'll see it in real time, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. And honestly, man, I get when I listen to you guys talk about politics. I just put it this way: if the majority can see what you're talking about, it's the wrong information.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If everybody can see what you're saying about whoever you're talking about, if the majority of people can see it, it's the wrong information.
Well, the thing I'm telling you, majority of people act like they don't know.
Don't know what?
Like what I'm telling you, the stuff I was telling you earlier. Majority of people act like they don't know.
I always say this. I promise you. I always say this. Anybody talking to you about politics, just see if they pronounce their name correctly. That tells you a lot.
What does it tell you when you say that? Because explain that to me.
If a person doesn't take the time to pronounce her name correctly, that means they're not doing any other detailed reading or knowledge.
How do you pronounce her name again?
Kamala. Like comma Lua, like Kamala.
All right. Okay.
Now, if they don't take the time to do that, what else are they not taking the time to do detailed knowledge on or reading or whatever? That's how I look at it.
Well, you got to remember, in the very beginning, nobody could spell Barack. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. After you get it repeated to you enough and you hear it enough and enough, it's like after. But it's a foreign name.
But what you just said, Big Truck, if you get enough people to saying her name wrong, the majority do it. You're right. That does work. You got the majority of people saying her name wrong. That's why the majority say it wrong.
And here's the thing. My thing is, I deal with a lot of Indian people up here, and every time I see that name, I pronounce it phonetically different than they're saying that you should say it. You know, because you got to understand, it's like I've had coworkers named Kamala, and it was spelled the same way, and I got used to calling them that way. But all right, I mean, I'm not even going to bother with that one. I see your point. I'll just call her VP Harris or whatever. I'll call her Vice President.
I'm just saying what I do. I observe. Now that I'm out of the debt matrix, I don't really pay attention to what people say in debt or their opinions. It doesn't matter to me. If you don't understand, you're not a homeowner. I don't want to talk to you.
By the way, just to answer your question, if Kamala Harris becomes president, she gets to nominate her vice president.
I figured,
You were talking about Nixon. He picked Rockefeller to fill his vacancy.
Yeah, wasn't he like the House Minority Whip or something like that?
Yeah, because it's part of the line of secession. I think it's like the pro contemporary. Bottom line is she gets to nominate the person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I figured it was something, but I just, and I forgot what channel you was on, Big Truck, but you were talking about Kamala being president too, and I think people thought you were full of shit, and I was like, no,
Well,
I'm
you
with
got
Big
to
Truck,
understand,
I'm with,
if you're one step in front of everybody else, you're the leader. But if you're two steps ahead, everybody thinks you're crazy, and that's just
right,
what
and that's
they
what they were calling you. I was like, I'm 100% in agreement with them. I was like, they don't see it.
Yeah. Big Truck is establishment, so he's always a step ahead of everybody.
That's right.
Yeah,
So,
when he was saying that, I was like,
when
okay.
he
I
called that
wanted to see how
Robin
many
Hood
people
shit too.
responded, and they were like, "Oh, he crazy." No, it's not. I was like, okay.
Well, you got to remember well, first of all, let's go back. Let's go back 2014. I was saying Trump was going to win, and everybody was telling me the same shit. They're like, "Oh, that's not going to happen. You
I
crazy."
didn't believe
That, and the
that.
other. And
That was me.
the thing about it is, I won, and people couldn't believe it. And I was like, "You didn't see this coming." And then, as soon as he got in office, I was like, "Nah, Trump's going to lose. He's not going to be president again." And they were like, "What are you talking about? The economy's doing great. The economy's doing fabulous." Sure enough, as soon as coronavirus came out, I was like, "Yeah, y'all are done." And all my bets I had to call in. I was like, "Nah, man. If you're one step ahead, you're a leader. If you're two steps ahead, you're crazy."
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was one of those people. If I heard you say that, I would have said, "You're crazy. He's an actor. He's not blah blah blah." I would have never believed. And then once he became president, then I thought to myself, "Okay, why did they
Were
put
you a
him there?"
slave back then, LJ, or were you out the matrix?
No, I was free, but I wasn't as aware yet
Oh, okay.
as I am today. So, but I knew it didn't make sense to me, even though he was, because I couldn't. Like Big Truck said, I was thinking, no way, there is no way. Oh, he grabbed pussies and this and that. And I was like, oh hell no, ain't gonna be no president like that.
You know what killed me? You know what killed me about the entire Trump, his entire campaign. Whenever I'd go over to my family's house, they'd be looking at the newest negative news about him, and sure enough, all they ever watched was MSNBC and CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, "Oh, how's your boy doing today, huh?" And I'm like, he's still there. And I've always been taught to believe that if your enemy is still alive, he still represents a clear and present threat. So the mere fact that he lasted that long and was knocking off these Republican candidates, I was like, yo, this dude's going to win. And not only that, if they can't stop him on that side, the Democrats don't have a chance to stop him because they play by the rules. He doesn't play by the rules. So if you're playing by the rules, you get boxed in while you've got somebody else who's not playing by the rules, but he's steadily gaining on you. And I was like, listen, if you don't utterly destroy your enemy to the point where they're dead, they continue to represent a threat. And that's how I feel about it. So I was like, yo, dude, this guy's going to win. Everybody called me crazy. Oh, that's never going to happen. I had so many arguments. I had fallings out with people. And sure enough, he won. That was it.
Well, let me ask you something, Big Truck, because I don't know. When people say right wing, left wing, does that mean one's left wing is Democrat, Republican? What's that mean?
Left wing means that you're basically talking about see, here's the problem. America has a two-party system. Left wing basically means Democrat. Right wing basically means Republican. But the way you need to look at it is that two wings are on the same bird.
Correct. Yeah.
That's
the only thing I look at. Who owns the bird? That's the only thing I think about. Who owns the bird? They
working together. You know who owns the bird? The corporations do.
Yeah, and Big Truck is grabbing on the bottom of the belly.
I'm on the tail, baby. I'm on the tail.
Nah, you on.
I got the bird by the tail. And once you understand that both sides are working together, see that's the problem. Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, they're both catering to each side their audience, but the problem is they're all working together. And that's the hard people see the problem that I have in this country is that people think that you have to pick a side. I don't pick a side. I'm not picking a side. I'm just going by logic. I'm not picking a side. But people make it like it's a baseball game. It's like I don't give a shit about the Mets or anybody else. It's like my thing is what's going to happen is going to happen, and there's only so much that you can do about it. But this is bigger than you. But they're all working together, you know? And the establishment doesn't like newcomers. So just like you see these new people who raise their voice a little too loud, and then all of a sudden they either need a slap down or a talking to, That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And believe me, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's going to be something big in a very short period of time. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Guaranteed.
I'm just following the structure, man. You know what? When you put it this way, if you've ever been in the background listening to the channel, I want to tell you something, right? When you get out of debt, there's a lot of noise. First of all, there's a lot of noise right now when you're in debt. You hear a lot of people. There's so much stuff going on. Politics, everything has an opposite, opposing, Democrat, Republican, this street, that street, where you live. It's a lot of noise. When you get out of debt, you won't listen to slaves. And if 90% of the people are in the United States are in debt, and you get out of debt and that just hushes, and then you can hear what's really happening. You can clearly see that student loans create slaves. That is crystal clear. There is no misunderstanding. They give them to you at 18, as much as you wish, no background check. No, you just sign up, right? Right now, and this is my opinion, right now, you think $1.7 trillion in student loan debt is a lot? Right now, I guarantee you there is a record amount of people sign up for student loan debt. Not only to go back to school, some of them to sign up just to get the money, go get a couple credits, because they're desperate. They ain't got no jobs. So they're doing anything, and they're like, fuck it, I'm going to just do what I need to do right now, then I'll pay it back later. No, you're not. No, you're not. And they know that. There's going to be, so even if they decided, which I don't believe they ever will, you'll never know how many people are signing up. So if they let's just say they forgave $50,000, that is nothing compared to how many people are signing up. Nothing.
The only thing I would say to that is that they've made the sign up process slightly more difficult than when I was in school, because the student loan debt crisis didn't really become that apparent until about 2010. And then from 2010 onwards till now, that's when you really heard them talking about it. When I was in school, the FAFSA sign-up process and all that stuff, the Pell Grants, the TAP, all that stuff, it wasn't like it is now. Like, I had friends who, they'd get their checks and they'd cash it out. They'd go buy clothes. They'd buy cell phones. They'd buy computers and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's hard to do that because they don't just give you the money. What they do is they clear out the bill itself. Now, as you're talking about people who are desperate just taking out loans, oh yeah, if I fell on hard times right now, I know I could go back to school. I could take out money to live on a campus somewhere so I'd at least have a roof over my head. But yeah, that's this system. And yeah, I'd raise up a lot of debt real fast. But, hopefully when you come out with that degree, you'll be able to do something. I don't know.
Well, think about it this way. They could easily, think about it. If for a food stamp card, right? They give people food stamp card and you only can buy food. Okay. You can't go buy tires. You can't go buy an iPhone with a food stamp card. You can't, right? They could easily do that with student loan debt. A student loan. They could put it on a card and make sure you can only spend it on your college school related things.
And then you know what would happen? You know what would happen? Some Democrat would stand there and tell you that's racist because what about the inner city college kids that don't have clothes or can't afford socks or something like that?
No, my point is this. And that has nothing to do with race or anything, right? My point is this.
I'm just saying that's what they would do. That's all I'm saying.
I understand what people would do, how they felt about it. I'm not talking about people's feelings. I'm just talking about money. Okay. I'm saying like this. They could easily use a card and do that. That's the same thing they do with when you have an HSA card. You only can do it medical related. The reason why they wouldn't do it, because it would prevent the creation of slaves.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think
they should I'm sorry, citizen, real quick, but they should have done that with the stimulus money. That kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, that bastard over there in Kenosha, he took the stimulus money and bought a fucking gun. So my thing is, why didn't they just hand out EBT cards and print everybody EBT card and say, listen, the coronavirus has got everything messed up. We know you probably lost your job. So here's a card. You can go buy food. You can buy cereal, this, that, and the other. But you damn sure ain't buying a fucking gun with it.
Since I'm like the youngest and I'm the most recent removed from school. Yeah. So what they do is they'll clear out all your bills and whatever left over, they give you a check and you can go cash it.
That's the same
That's
thing
the
in
current
Japan.
state of
And
affairs.
guess what, Citizen Lou?
Oh,
You know
okay,
what the
okay,
trick
cool.
is? You know what the trick is, Citizen Lou? What you do is you sign up for the maximum number of courses. I think it's probably like 15 credits or 16 credits, right? And then you wait until the disbursement of the loan money, and then you start dropping a couple of courses till you're down to 12. That means you stay a full-time student, but your student loan check comes, right? So then all that extra money in between the 12 credits and the 16 credits, you're taking that money out and you're going and probably buying something with it. That was the trick that just about everybody who I knew when I was in school was doing. And as I said, they didn't even graduate from school. They had TAP, they had Pell, they had Seek. They would take those checks. They didn't even have bank accounts. They would go to a check cashing place, spend $100 to cash the check, waste $100 because they didn't give a fuck. It wasn't their money. And then they take that, go buy Coogee, go buy Timberland, go buy fucking Air Jordans. Listen, my best friend, this dude spent his money. He bought a $2,000 compact computer. Dude did not graduate from school. I went through the hard way. I graduated from school. Yeah, I had like $30,000 in debt by the time I was done, but I went and finished. Most of my friends, they didn't even finish, but they got that money though, and they cashed that money out, and they came to school fresh every day, fresh. I'm walking around with sketches, and I like my sketches. But these
I'm just
they're
laughing.
buying Coogee. I swear to God, Coogee, Gucci, all this stuff, and they ran up that debt. And they didn't even graduate.
Hey, bitch, I'm about to follow you. I'm about to subscribe to you, man.
You didn't subscribe already? What's wrong with you?
I got you. I just did.
I'm up here teaching people how to make money off of stocks.
I wonder how many people owe student loan debt and didn't get their degree. Can you imagine?
A lot.
Oh, that's a good stat to look up, LJ.
Mm.
That's it. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Damn.
But LJ, the real thing is, so you got to remember, a lot of people they become what's called a career student, and they can raise up $400, $500, maybe even $1 million worth of student loan debt. But the thing about it is, I'm not as bothered by the people who are going to school and then drop out because they found out it was too hard. I'm more bothered by the people who stayed in there, got the degree, and now they can't get a job because the degree is worthless.
Mm.
LJ,
what'd you say, Citizen?
From 2014 and 26, 3.9 million undergraduate federal student loan debt dropped out. Damn, but that was just them 2 years, so we don't even know the total.
Nah, we'll never know the
total. You'll never know the total.
I guarantee you this: within the next couple of years, though, 1.7 trillion that's going to be nothing.
Keep in mind, these student loans, this is all part of the welfare state, man. A lot of that money that's going out there to these schools, a lot of that is part of keeping those areas afloat. You think about it. Some of these schools are in very rural locations. They're out of the way. They're in a place where nothing else exists. So basically, either you're bringing in students to spend money in those areas to boost those economies, or you have to build a prison. Because what you don't have is the factory that you should have had that you sent to Asia. You see what I'm saying? So if you take your factories and send them to China and Indonesia, then what do you have left besides debt? You don't have anything left.
So what is your suggestion?
My suggestion is the same level of protectionism that Trump was doing, because I will say this: Trump was a shitty president.
No, big truck. Come on now, man.
No, but
you went on hours of the live streams going in on Trump.
Yeah, because he was a shit president. But what I will say is this: he tried protectionism against globalism, and he lost, and they destroyed him for it because he was stupid about the way he was doing it. You do need that level of protectionism, just like I'm saying. You're taking your factories, you're putting them in Asia. No, what you need is those factories in our backyard. You need those factories because most of your kids can't do anything else. So you need to create vocational jobs. You need your factories here. The problem is he was fighting for the wrong businesses, and globalism snapped him up. You can't compete with China. You can't compete with India. There's not enough of us. There's just not enough. They outnumber us, damn near 6-1. You can't compete with globalism. All I'm saying is if you bring back those factory jobs, everything will remake itself before your eyes. But that's not part of the plan. The plan is to create slaves.
I think Trump was a placeholder for Kamala. That's what I think.
Well, here's the thing. Trump's presidency ended because of coronavirus mostly, right? Anybody could have ran against him and gotten in because they weren't up against him, they were up against his record. It's just like when
Correct.
Barack Obama ran against George Bush's record. He wasn't running against McCain and Palin. He was running against George W. Bush. And George W. Bush's last year ended with an economic collapse, just like Trump's did. So all I'm saying is anybody could have ran against him. It's just that they pushed Kamala through by forcing Biden to pick a quote-unquote woman of color. That's how they pushed her through.
Nah, she was placed.
Okay, if you want to say she was placed, she was placed. But when let me tell you something. The moment
she's going to calm the country. She's going to calm the country.
Okay. Well, no, listen, that very well could be. I think Joe Biden was designed to calm the country because Joe Biden is he's like exciting at all.
He's a placeholder.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's non-exciting. Trump had people at the edge of their seats for 4 years, and when
Trump had extreme. I mean, they made like 3 mixtapes.
Yeah,
I mean, there was so much enthusiasm behind Trump.
You can't be a Twitter troll for 4 years straight and like just keeping these people like just glued to their chairs. Like you can't do that.
But see, if you take a step back, so you got to take a step back. Does that look normal for a president to tweet like that? Does that look normal to you?
Of course,
right? I'm just saying. Does that look normal? So that's odd to me. So I think to myself, why is he doing that? Because he's a placeholder.
Well, if you remember when Obama,
I guarantee you, when Kamala becomes president, you think she's going to ever tweet like that? That will never happen.
Hell no.
Yeah, but I'd rather have my president tweet crazy than
No, I don't think you do.
Bomb children hospitals. I think that's kind of.
Here's a question: who bombed the children's hospital?
Obama.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, if they're gonna specifically put terrorists and shit and use them as a human shield, what are you supposed to do?
Hey. I mean, that's a good way to justify it. But
hey, citizen, who told you Obama bombed the children's hospital? Who told you
that? The drone strike records.
No, I'm asking. Where'd you learn? Did you see that on the news, or did you go to the?
No, Obama has killed more people by drone strike than any president ever.
Where'd you learn that
information? Because drones came about during Obama's presidency.
That's true, Big Truck. You're right, but
it's not like you can compare him to Woodrow Wilson. Or you can't compare him to Harry Truman. Harry Truman dropped a nuclear bomb on people. So if Harry Truman had drones, Harry Truman would have used drones.
Who told you that? That's true. Lou? Who told you that?
Who told me that?
Yeah, who told you that?
I picked up the information.
From where?
I'm just asking where. Where'd you get it from?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just probably heard it. And let me tell you something. Maybe it was true. Maybe it wasn't true. But the bottom line is when you're involved in war and you're involved in a war where you know that the enemy thinks that they can hide behind human shields, yeah, shit gets really ugly. But keep in mind, this country has done that throughout its history. We nuked Japan twice. If they had drones, they would have used drones. Clinton bombed, what was it? He bombed the Yugoslavians. He bombed those people for 90 straight days. You think he hit any children's hospital? He probably did. But wait. I
mean, you kind of taking it way off the point what I was making. The point where I'd rather my president talk crazy on Twitter than murdering a bunch of children. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, but
y'all asked me who did, and I named who, and then we went on a tangent.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying, but I'm pretty sure Obama didn't do that on purpose. The problem with a Predator drone is whatever you hit, you blow up pretty much everything around them too. So I don't think it was on purpose. I refuse to believe.
You think are news agencies publicly owned or privately owned?
They're private.
Who do you think owns those?
Six of it's like what 6 companies, right? Big Truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very few.
So they're gonna do what they're told, correct?
You're right.
Okay.
Hey, I wanted to kind of ask you something. It kind of goes to what you say a lot, LJ. And Big Truck, I want your opinion on it too. So the old executive producer of The Apprentice, is the executive producer of CNN. And that kind of odd.
No, because The Apprentice was on. He was The Apprentice came on. I believe it was NBC, right?
Yeah, it was NBC, right?
But yeah, it was just a show being produced by a bigger conglomerate, and because these things are corporate media, these things are buying and selling other pieces of corporation all the time. That doesn't.
I think what you're meaning. I think what Citizen Lou is really meaning. Isn't that a conflict of interest?
I think it's a conflict of interest to have corporate media at all because
I think it goes to LJ's point that it's a placeholder. I mean, if CNN's producer is cool with Trump, I mean, like you said, it's like they're all just working together.
They are. Yeah, that's what I said. They're all working. They're all in it together.
The news is owned.
Yeah.
You know, they said if you wanted the amount of exposure on CNN that Trump got, you had to pay $3.1 billion.
Yeah, I believe it. You're basically, it's just like what we do here on YouTube every single day. There are advertisers lined up to advertise on your channel as long as you're bringing in views and attention from enough people in the subgroups that they feel that they're not reaching. So as soon as you it's just like when I post a video, right? I posted a video on something and you put the name of what you're talking about, all of a sudden ads come up for that type of thing because they know that you're getting a certain number of views. This entire internet, this entire media, it's all for profit. That's just what it is.
You got to take, you know what this is? You just got to take your feelings out of it, man. You can't add your feelings. And then when people give you information, you got to really listen to see if they're adding their feelings into what they're saying to you, right? Because if they are, they're just adding their feelings.
Nah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, in fact, there's a photo here about the media cross ownership. I'm gonna share it right now, because there's always a couple of them because it looks like they're trying to get that information out. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares, and that's the real problem. Nobody cares about this. Wait, hold on. Let me scroll down. Right there. You see that?
Yeah.
Right there.
I know Viacom owns all that in its second column.
Yeah.
To the left.
At the end of the day, what are you going to do? You're going to stop watching television? Nobody cares. People want to believe that they care. They call them slacktivists. Everybody is slacking, but they want to act like they're activists. Nobody cares.
Yeah, people still using Amazon. People still using Facebook.
Twitter. They don't care. They just act like they care. It doesn't matter if they care or not. That's the point. That's the real point. Look at that list. You think they care? You're making car payments. You think they care what you think? If you're making car payments, you think they care what you think?
Every time you said that shit's funny to me.
They got billions, and you're making student loan payments. You think they give a fuck of what you think about what they're doing? No, they don't even see you. I don't like that. They're doing this and they favor this. They're like, we don't care what you think, slave. So what?
Yep, it's all entertainment. They don't care. So my thing is, all you can really do is focus on making your money and just keep it moving. That's it.
Hey, Big Tro, when you gonna have a course on some stock investing, man?
I do this shit every damn day. What do you think I made all those videos for?
All right, cool.
I do it like all the time, but guess what? I get very low views because everybody's interested in getting rich quick. Nobody's interested in planning for the long term. Everybody
They don't want that knowledge. They don't want that knowledge, Big Truck. They don't want the knowledge.
You remember when I came on here and I was telling y'all to stay away from GameStop and shit? Guess what? GameStop's like $63 right now.
Is it?
Yeah, that shit. LJ was like, you the stock. You the stock.
GameStop's $63. Now, when I was talking about it, now guess what? When I was telling people, I was like, yo, stay away from this shit. GameStop was hitting like $460 a share because the buying frenzy was on. I was like, yo, when they put the brakes on this, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. Stay away from it. Right now, GameStop, they're stuck at like 63.77.
Yeah, it was at like 355 at one point.
Boy, look at that.
Yeah, people asking what's my channel. It's my name. I've been explaining to people about how to manage student loan debt. I've been explaining to people about how to pick good stocks. No, I barely get any views on those videos. I barely get any views.
This is so fun. I had some guy reach out to me. Hey man, you hear about that GameStop stock, man? It's up to like 300. Man, that's going crazy up. I said, compared to what? Berkshire Hathaway stock? What are you comparing it to? It counts on what? It's up to like $350. Look up Berkshire Hathaway stock, and then that compare it to that, and that should tell you how much that really means.
Yep.
But slaves be jumping all over that stuff, man. And look at it. What's you said? It's $63 now. Man,
yeah, that shit dropped. That shit dropped. That shit dropped drastically.
My problem is people just want to get rich quick, and that's
not that money, and they out now. They rebuilding GameStop to do whatever. I heard GameStop is doing something now. I heard they're doing something big now with all that money.
They ain't doing nothing. Like the stock is plunged. There's nothing that they can do. The company itself is going bankrupt.
Well, somebody made some money. Somebody made some money.
Oh yeah. If you see, here's the thing, LJ. If you and I had gotten in to GameStop when it was like $5, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna hype this on our channel, and we're gonna promote it, and we're gonna get everybody else into it, just like the Redditors did. And you're able to get millions of people into it, excited and everything, and it starts to rise. You and I are waiting to sell out of it as soon as possible because we're going to sell out at a profit. Yeah, somebody did get rich, but a whole lot of people lost everything. And you'll never know who's who. You'll never know.
Yeah, that's out of mind, you know.
You know how you know who lost? The people who kill themselves. That's how you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that is absolutely crazy.
Man, there was a lot of big firms that had like 13% of GameStop stock. Like Fidelity had. It was, a lot of people were acting like the little guy won, but in reality,
they didn't. The little guy never had a chance. They never had a chance against these companies, man.
They just don't know it. Slaves don't know they don't have money to invest. That's why they take advantage of them. That's why they come up with some bull crap stock. Hey, GameStop. And first thing I thought is GameStop. Aren't they going out of business? What do they sell there? I mean, who's going there?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I thought that was weird, and it sure was right. They just got a payday. That's it.
But see, the problem is look at the lie the little guy was sold. They were like, oh yeah, well, we're attacking the corporate suits. We're attacking those hedge funds that have been crippling the little guy.
Right. That's part of the plan. That's why they say stuff like that. That's part of the plan.
Yeah. Who do you think was behind that messaging? The guy behind that messaging was one of those suits. They would have won waiting to cash their money out when it hit $480. They're the ones waiting to cash their money out. It's called a pump and dump.
They know slaves are going to believe anything. They just believe anything.
Well, hey, listen, Bitcoin is $40,000 today. So who's going?
Man. Oh, you got
LJ. What? Nah, I'm bullshitting.
No, I'm glad that brought that up. That Bitcoin is about to go through the roof. Didn't you hear Kamala approve that? Did she approve that money? Bitcoin is about to go through the fucking roof. The slaves are going to be dreaming.
That's scary, man. That's scary. So they're going to all take their money from the government. They're going to drop that money into the stock market.
Into Bitcoin. Believe
they're going to drop that shit in the stock market. Bitcoin's going to rise up. You're going to have people trying to buy into it, and all of a sudden it's going to start to plummet because the people who've been waiting to sell are going to sell.
Yep. It counts on the size of this next package, but if it's a big package, I bet you Bitcoin reach up to 100,000.
Well, I don't get any money because I make way too much, so I get nothing. I get
I'm not talking. I'm just talking about the majority. I'm just saying the majority. When that if that package is a good size, I bet you Bitcoin's going to reach up to $100,000.
I don't think 100. I think maybe about 50. I don't think 100. I want you to understand something, LJ. They were saying Bitcoin was supposed to be like $1 million by now back in 2017. And I'm like, yo, dude, that makes no sense whatsoever.
Right. Slaves think that. Slaves think stuff.
Yeah, I know. But listen, my thing is, why here's the problem. To buy into Bitcoin now, in order for you to double your money, Bitcoin would have to go from $40,000 to $80,000 for you to double your money. Meanwhile, there have been plenty of regular stocks that have outperformed it. Neo, Tesla, Pinterest, Apple. Like, there's been other stocks that have outperformed it. These people who are going into this shit are trying to get rich quick. That's the problem. And as long as you can convince them they can get rich quick, they'll keep throwing money at you. It's sad, but that's what it is.
Slaves, put it this way, okay? This is what slaves can't see. If you can't buy a Bitcoin, you can't play. You really shouldn't be playing if you can't buy a Bitcoin. I don't care how much it is, 40,000. But on the same note, if they didn't sell an imaginary coin, this is even fucking crazy. crazy to even say it. But if they didn't sell bits of coin that don't even exist to people, to slaves, they wouldn't be able to afford to get in it at all. And Bitcoin wouldn't exist if they didn't break it up in pieces. This is no different than car payments. Okay, slaves wouldn't be able to get a car if they didn't break it up in payments. The exact same shit. But slaves can't see it. And not only is you can at least see a car. Okay, you can see it. This is a fucking imaginary coin that they broke up in imaginary pieces and slaves buy it.
All right,
They don't even see it.
All right, we're not gonna have this conversation about. but hey, man. Nah, I'm with you there, AJ, about the buying it in debt thing.
It's crazy. Man, to put it this way, okay. Whoever invented, and I think it's the banks. I think the banks invented cryptocurrency. It just makes sense, right? It just mastered, right? Whoever made this up is absolutely brilliant. Make people believe in something that don't even exist. That's amazing to me.
I saw that one community post you put, and you said that Social Security was blockchain. You said, you said Social Security and something else was blockchain.
Yeah, they were like, people say, "Oh man, this blockchain is impenetrable," whatever. I said, "Blockchain been here. That's what they use to house the Social Security numbers."
Yeah, that's right.
Create all people's debt. I guarantee you that is where they keep the student loan debt data, keeping track of who owns what. I guarantee you. That's where they keep. Blockchain been here for years.
Do you see the picture I'm sharing with you? Have you ever seen this? This is one of my favorite diagrams. It's a Venn diagram.
Hey, zoom in, Big Truck.
Yeah, it's kind of far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a Venn diagram for Bitcoin. Basically, you've got your people who know nothing about math, people who know nothing about currency, and then people who know nothing about investing. And when you get them all together, you got Bitcoin. That's like my favorite diagram.
I just, anybody, and I'm telling you, anybody coming to me talking about Bitcoin, I just say, do you have student loans? If they say yes, I say, that's why you invest in Bitcoin, because you're the Bitcoin.
Hey, you be killing motherfuckers with that one. You be killing them with that shit.
They are. They're the Bitcoin. Hey. You making car payments? Yeah. You are the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin exists in you. You are the Bitcoin. Okay.
It's just get rich quick, man. It's get rich quick. And the sad thing is, people want to get rich quick, not so that they can pay off debt, but they want to get rich quick so they can buy something.
It's you. They're going to be, some people like, what do you mean I'm the Bitcoin? Because you believe you can invest in a coin that doesn't exist with money that doesn't exist. You are the Bitcoin.
Yeah, when you put it like that.
And everything I'm saying is exactly true. It's true. You cannot. How are you going to invest in something that doesn't exist with money that doesn't exist? The banks are fucking brilliant, man. I don't know how they do that. That's generations right there. That's generations of psychology. All these people. Can you imagine, like, when people put their portfolios together and they got stuff listed on their portfolios of things that they don't own, houses, cars. Oh, this is valued at this. This is valued. Wait a minute. You didn't even have the money to buy the house, but you believe the equity is, you own the equity in a house that you couldn't even afford to buy, and it's in your portfolio. And then they tell other slaves the same information. That shit's amazing to me, man.
Hey, you said something on the video. I think it was a member video. You were talking about like why Walmart is still open. And you just look at how much money they made versus like some rinky-dink mom and pop shop that's in debt, and that's why they got shut down. That's a lot of shit does boil down to debt. That's crazy.
When I look at, it's crazy, but it's money. That's how it works.
Yeah, you're right.
They got a store in damn near in every state in the United States of America. You know how long it would take you to catch up with them?
How long? Like 400 years?
That's generations. You wouldn't live long enough to catch up with Walmart. If you said, "Hey man, I'm gonna compete to Walmart," you wouldn't live long enough to do it. You would start it. You could start it, but you wouldn't live long enough to see it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Because Sam Walton, what was that, like in the 40s? How long ago was that?
I'm not sure. It's been a long time, but I mean, you look at Costco. Those are big boys. Those are billionaire players. Yes, we're staying open. People complain, "Oh my God, how come small mom and pop shops close down?" Because they're billionaires and you're not. You can't say that to them, though. They'll get offended. They have
Yeah.
billions of dollars. Your business is owned by the bank, and it has been the whole time. You think the bank owns Walmart buildings?
Well, okay. Well, Walmart was founded in '62, so that's not too long.
What's that mean when you say that?
It was founded in 1962,
Okay, what's that mean?
so it's not as long as I thought it was. I was thinking it was like 1930s or something, but it wasn't as it's not that long. Like
I
what I
mean,
mean, like a generation.
No, I'm saying when you tell me the date they started, why are you telling me that? I'm curious.
Oh, because we were talking about generation to catch up. Because when I was thinking of generation, I was thinking like 400 years. But I was saying like
Oh,
you probably if you had
no,
the same time. That's what I was
I'm
thinking.
just saying
That was
maybe if you started it now, maybe your grandchildren would probably be competition to them.
right.
Well, you got to remember, Walmart was started by Sam Walton in Arkansas. That's the one you're talking about, the first Walmart, right?
Right.
But
Yeah. Walmart Discount City.
gradually they got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it turned out that they retooled themselves and they made themselves a good model. Walmart has a very good business model. Like there's some people who hate Walmart because the media tells them to. Bottom line is they have a unbeatable business model. So for right now, that's just what it is,
Yeah. What 3% profit margin, right?
Yeah, Walmart undercuts everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
When I go to a Walmart,
you know why they do? Because they can.
Yeah,
they can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if they take temporary losses, they can always make it up later.
Now they're taking away the cashiers. You know how much money they're going to be making right now? Oh my God. They got people shopping there. They're going to be bagging everything themselves. Man.
And then you can do the they got the Instacart.
Load. Huh?
And they got the Instacart thing too. Like you order it and then they just put it outside and you just come through and pick it up. So you don't even have to go inside or nothing.
I remember they closed down a bunch of their what's that their competition that was against Costco. What was the name of their Sam's
DJ?
Club?
No, Sam's Club.
Sam's Club, right? Mm-hmm. They closed a bunch down. Everybody's like, "Ooh, something's problem with Walmart." No, they just shut them down and turned them bad boys into storage facilities so they can deliver.
Yeah,
Walmart about to start selling cars.
Well, Walmart already see what it is. It's not that Walmart sells cars. What they do is that they bring you third-party car parts, third-party car services, and whatever. So it's like Walmart sells superchargers. If you want a supercharger, all you do is you go through Walmart's site and they get you to a third-party site that they work with, and they themselves either deliver it by their freight or whatever. The corporations are consolidating all business. It doesn't matter what you are. They're trying to consolidate all business.
Do you know if Kamala favors businesses? Because
I would imagine that she's a smart enough person to understand that. She doesn't strike me as the type that's just going to say, "Yeah, I'm just going to raise taxes willy nilly." But I would say, because you got to remember, right now she's not a policymaker. Like, she's just a vice president. But thus far, I haven't really seen anything from her to say that she'd be anti-business. But here's my thing. Even with Trump, how pro-business is it for you to cut taxes? The biggest businesses are able to save their money. But the problem is, the backlash is that now, more and more of these people end up basically in debt. So when it comes back around, you're actually losing money. Because you know what you haven't noticed? The trade deficit. Trade deficit's like a record high trade deficit under Trump, mind you.
Oh, because of the tariffs.
And guess what? It wasn't because of coronavirus. No, it was prior to coronavirus, our trade deficit was growing anyway because Trump tried to start a trade war with China, which was really stupid. You can't start a trade war.
And we lost, right?
Oh, yeah, we lost. That's why you heard them stop talking about it. We weren't winning that.
Okay. I was thinking this too. I was thinking about the tax thing. I was thinking about explaining how we pay taxes different than slaves do. Okay. So once you're out of debt, time is the most valuable thing on earth, right? Uh-huh. So, Citizen Lou. So if you got a job, right, you work hour for hour to pay your taxes, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, once you get out of the debt matrix and you create a successful business, You don't use the time in your life to pay taxes anymore. Your customers pay your taxes.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Now
See what I'm
you're
saying?
like
So,
you're a tax collector now.
no, not a tax collector. I'm just saying, no, time in your life is the most
No,
important thing, right?
no, I agree. I agree with you.
You use the
I
time in
agree
your
with
life
you.
to
Yeah.
pay taxes, right? But if you pay your debt off, get out of debt, create a successful business, you don't pay your taxes with the time in your life anymore. Your customers do.
Hey, hey, Big Trev, you ever heard that phrase before when they call like when people say Amazon doesn't pay taxes and they say no, they're a tax collector. Like when people
Amazon, what see the thing, you know what the issue is? Some of these states, even like specifically Texas, what they'll do is they'll tell these companies, if you come to us, we'll not make you pay taxes because they know that you're bringing X, Y, and Z number of jobs in. And that's why most of these manufacturers want to manufacture cars in Texas and Mississippi. And it makes these red states look like they're actually profitable because they're not charging you taxes and you're creating jobs, right? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when Amazon was trying to come to New York, she was like, "Oh, well, you guys aren't paying taxes, so we're not going to let you come in." Realistically, it probably wouldn't have been a great thing to bring it here because New York is already so crowded, and we already have a nightmare of traffic, and we already have a nightmare of overcrowding issues, right? So Amazon, they went elsewhere, right? But they're trying to say, oh, that's bad because you're losing out on jobs. But my thing is, listen, just because they're creating jobs doesn't mean that they shouldn't be paying a share of taxes. You know, I think but ultimately, you got to understand, when the businesses are not paying these taxes, what they're doing is they're privatizing the profits, but they're socializing the losses. Corporations love welfare. That means that they can pay you less and you'll just make up for it on the taxpayers' back, but they're taking their profits. They're going elsewhere. You know? So I have a problem with that. But again,
no, I'm okay. No,
you know,
I was just going.
that's what happens. It's not that they're not paying taxes. It's just that the state is giving them a break, saying that, you know what, you're creating jobs, you're making the politicians look good, so we're not going to make you pay taxes.
And see, they always, and that's the first thing they say. You know, I remember reading now, Amazon's not paying taxes, and people, you know, slaves get upset. Oh my God, how come they don't have to pay taxes and we do? They're paying taxes, but not the same way you do. That's all.
Right. And that goes what you were saying, LJ. I was, you know what I mean, I was trying to find an example to you know what I mean, to lay what you were saying.
It's like, this is what it is. This is what it is, Citizen Lou. Any taxes that you don't pay, that the majority do pay, is money in your pocket.
Yep.
That's what it is. That's what, and that's called phantom income. Okay. Anything like, I always give this example. Like the average car payment is $550 a month. All right. That's the average car payment. That's $65 or $600 a year or something like that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a car payment, you now make $6,500 more per year than the majority. At the end of the year, your account is going to have $66 more in your bank account than millions of people that have $550 a month car payments.
No, I definitely see what you're saying on that.
It's true.
In that regard. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
But you got to get out of that student loan debt first, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm only on a panel with student loan debt.
But you get out. It's not, I mean, you know what? The one thing, even though you're working on it, right? Just be happy that you're aware of it. There's millions of people that are not even aware that, I know it's crazy that they have this student loan debt. I mean, they know it's there, but they act like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and it is a big deal. I know people who have lived with their parents for like 5 years, and they've had like their student loans, they haven't even touched it, and they have like no intention of paying it back. Right, they kind of could have paid it off by now.
And imagine this. Imagine somebody with 20-year-old student loan debt going up to the bank and asking for a mortgage. Can you imagine how the bank is going to financially abuse that person?
You know what, LJ, man, you and Big Truck, man, y'all, I'm on your panel and I'm on panel with Big Truck, and y'all, this person I'm talking about specifically, he has student loans for a long time, and he's a day trader. So it's like, damn, everything y'all talk about, I do see that in real life, like the archetype of the person not to take financial advice from.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know this person in real life. I'm like, and every
Yeah.
time he tells me something, I do the opposite.
You got to do the opposite because whatever information he's telling you don't make any mathematical sense. And if
He
it
told
doesn't
me
make
about
mathematical
GameStop.
sense, if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it cannot make financial sense. It absolutely 100% cannot.
Yeah, he told me about GameStop and he told me about Dogecoin, and both them shits crashed.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, this shit is playing out in real life. Cause sometimes somebody say something and you can't find a real life example. But when it
right.
comes to this finance shit, though, it's
You can prove
way more. Yeah, you can prove it.
it. It's not a theory. You can
Yeah, it's
prove
not
it.
a theory. It's not a obscure event. Like it's just like
Right.
I can literally go down the street and find this person,
Yeah.
and it shows. Like I'm like,
And
damn.
he doesn't even know. And this is the power in what you just see. And I want you to recognize it, Citizen Lou. Okay, this is important. He doesn't
Mhm.
know that he gave that type of advice to you while living in student loan debt. He doesn't know that. He
Mhm.
doesn't know what you're noticing in him.
Yeah, you're right.
See what I'm
He
saying?
doesn't.
He
Yeah.
doesn't know that you're going to do the exact opposite of what he's saying because he's in student loan debt.
Yeah, man, you're right.
Mhm.
And he has a finance degree too. And
Yeah.
like I just can't,
What's that
so
tell you?
yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Everything you talk about is like don't you say
Imagine how
don't take
many
off your
finance
mask.
professionals are out there right now with degrees, with tons of student loan debt giving financial advice. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know, man.
That's embarrassing
It is. It really is.
because you can't go up to them and say, "Hey, man, didn't you pass math?" They got to say, "Yeah, in order to get my degree, I had to pass math." Then how come you're in debt and you're a finance professional and you don't even know you're in debt?
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you this too, LJ. You know how you say savings minus debt.
Mhm.
So he told me he saved $30,000,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm, mm.
But still had like about 20 plus 20 around 20,000 student loan debt, right? So that money is gone now,
It's
but the
gone.
student loan debt is still there.
Yep. Oh, that money's gone, and the student loan money. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying? And it goes to what you were saying. It was never there,
It was never
right?
there. You're right.
And
Recognize that, Citizen
that
Luke.
is
They can't.
crazy.
What
That
you're
shit is
seeing, Citizen
crazy,
Luke.
man.
They can't see it. I'm telling you, what you're noticing right now, they cannot see it.
Damn.
It's a
That's not a
superpower. You better recognize it.
he saved hard for that 30K too. I mean, he was like driving like 2 hours to work to do it, and that shit gone.
You think
And he
they
didn't even
want?
touch a student loan.
You think they ever want people to pay off them student loans? Hell no, they don't want to pay them off. Nope. That's why they work so hard in making it seem like it's not a big deal. You can spread them out. It's the lowest interest rate. They make the interest rate really, really low. They allow you to put them in forbearance. You can make minimum payments. That's why they do that because they don't want
Yeah.
you to pay them off. They want you to out of sight, out of mind.
Man, I was gonna go on vacation, man, but you know what,
But
man? I be listening to your videos. I'm like, you know what, man? Shit, fuck it. I'm finna take a vacation here, keep stacking up, and keep paying these student loans off because I don't, I'm not about to.
you was about to be a slave on vacation.
Yep, like you said, it don't matter where you at. That shit still gonna be on my neck.
You are just a slave on vacation. You got to come back to the plantation.
Yeah, whether you're in Miami, whether you in LA, no matter where you at, you still go. Yeah, you're right. You gotta
Yeah,
come
you a
back.
slave on vacation? Yeah, you got to come on back to the plantation. Come on back.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck that. I can't do that. Oh, by the way, I wanted to set up a thing with you.
Yeah, man. Just go to my website, man. There you go.
Is it saving minus debt?
Yeah, right there at the bottom.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man. You know what I did when I first got out of debt, man, and I quit my job? I went to Hawaii for 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks by myself. That shit was lovely. Oh, that was amazing. That was totally amazing. 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, that's
Didn't have to come back. I wasn't there thinking about work because that work didn't exist. So I was just, man, my mind was so free. Oh man, it was so free.
Damn.
Why
Yeah.
keep me?
Okay, I got to set up for tomorrow. I will do that.
Okay, it should give me an alert once you do it.
Okay, because it said I couldn't do one today, so
Huh?
it sounds like I'm gonna do one for tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
probably can't do
that's
it today.
cool.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah,
That's
because
all
an
good.
hour. Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow's fine.
All right, you watching? You don't watch sports like that, do you?
No, I don't watch sports at all.
Oh yeah, so you ain't worried about the Super Bowl. Okay, cool.
Nope. They still having it?
Yeah, it's in Tampa.
Are people going to be allowed to go?
Yeah, because Florida is one of the states that's open for sports. They had the NBA season playoffs there. They had the Disney World is still open.
You see what I'm saying? Look at
NASCAR.
why the NFL get to have their play. They're billionaires. That's why the Super Bowl's happening. Small businesses close. They get to have a Super Bowl.
And it's funny. Last year's was in Miami too. So Florida's had back-to-back Super Bowls.
You see what the billionaires get to do?
Yep.
That's what they get to do because they're billionaires. Period. That's the rules.
Yeah, I tell people, man, you notice you never seen Bill Gates with a mask on. Try to find a photo of Bill Gates with a mask on. I give you $500. Yep, I give you $500. Yep, if you can find, I give you $500.
I've never paid attention to that.
Yeah, like you said, them billionaires, they live by a whole different playbook, a whole different set of rules.
That's a given. That's a given. If you're making car payments, don't worry about what billionaires are doing.
Right.
You got student loans. Don't worry about what billionaires are doing. That's none of your business. If you got a finance cell phone in your hand, don't worry about what if Bill Gates got a mask on or not. Don't worry about that. It's none of your business.
Oh yeah, you got me on that. I actually paid my phone off when you told me that shit. I was like, damn, it never crossed my mind that I had a finance phone in my hand.
Right. A lot of slaves don't. That's important though. That's very important. That's why they keep jacking the phone prices up. Because they know slaves will never be able to buy one in cash. Man, phones are going for what? 1,500, 17, some crazy number.
Yeah.
The new iPhone I was looking that up. I forgot why I was looking it up, but the iPhone 12 Max or something, that thing was like 1,500.
Yeah, I got mine.
The AirPod Max is like $550. You saw them big ass earphones?
Oh yeah, no, they're selling earphones for $550. But see, my thing is, I invest directly into the company though.
Big Truck, use Apple selling some earplugs.
They have
AirPod Max
headphones. Yeah. They have a pair of studio size headphones that are $550.
Oh yeah, the AirPod Max. Yeah, it's crazy.
But you got to understand,
they're selling out too.
It's a style though. It's like you're not even getting great quality out of stuff. You're buying a style and you're showing it off to everybody else, and they're desiring it. But my thing
did Apple buy Beats? Apple bought Beats, right?
Apple bought Beats. That's right. Well, Apple's got what, $2 trillion? They can buy just about anything.
Yeah, damn, Apple has more cash.
Apple has more cash than the U.S. government. Buy up anything they want to buy.
Are they wired?
No, they're wireless. Everything's wireless now.
Oh, gotcha. That's right. They took away the plug in the phone. That's crazy, man. They pulled the port on the phones, and slaves still bought their phones. They take away. Oh my God, man.
Yo, I'm telling you. And then Beats have always been trash. Like it's nothing but a status symbol. If you ever watch those commercials, like beat producers will have them on. If you ever watch them actually making music, they never use Beats.
No, because Beats aren't a good stereo monitor headphone. Those are not professional mixing headphones.
Right, at all.
And I thought the thing that annoyed me most about it was that they convinced all these children to get their dumbass parents to buy this stuff, and they're walking around with these things. They're getting broken. They're getting stolen. And then, like, you ever see all these kids walking around? They got tape all around these things because they're broke. It's like, did it ever occur to you that the reason why like these things stay in the studio is because they're so cumbersome and large that you would never wear them to school? But no, it's all a fashion show. That's all it is.
Yeah, but I'm saying like this is why I'm saying this is an employer's market. This is a business market, man. Once you step out and you see that they can get slaves to buy, and check this out, they're $500 on purpose. This is why, because they're going to finance those headphones too. So what they're going to do is finance a phone and headphones. They're going to be so deep Slaves are so deep. Oh, they're so deep, man.
Well, look at what Apple did. Apple designed a credit card from Goldman Sachs to make it so that even if you couldn't afford something, now you can just go and buy it.
What do you mean? They came up with an app? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's called the Apple. It's called the Apple Card. What Apple did was they designed a credit card. They used Goldman Sachs as the bank to finance the card or to create the card and distribute it. And now, when you buy something in Apple, chances are you're probably going to end up buying it on that credit card.
Oh, see, look at that easy money. Easy.
Yeah. No, but see, Apple, you got to also remember, they want to move as much merchandise as they can possibly move. And they'll sell shit. I'm pretty sure they raise prices thanks to the fact that now that it's possible to finance stuff right from your cell phone, you can finance things. You don't even necessarily need the card. All you need is the account, and you're financing through Goldman Sachs. They tell you got 2 years of no interest or whatever it is, and there's no fees, this, that, and other. But Apple they got smart. And Apple said, you know what we'll do? We'll create our own credit card. The next thing they'll probably have their own trading platform. You'll probably be buying stocks on Apple.
It's never going to stop. I mean, you got to remember, if you don't know not to finance something that goes down in value, they're going to take advantage of you.
Oh, well, it gets better. It gets better. Apple's about to start making cars. That's what they said. They said they're about to get Kia to build them cars. And they're going to sell Apple cars.
Of course
so
they are.
You think you're talking down the people right now who are going deep into debt for a car payment? Yeah, well, wait until Apple gets through with you.
Oh yeah, no, I don't really feel sad. I mean, again, the economy wouldn't exist without slaves, right? Exactly. So I'm not against what I just when I see Apple and when I see Apple sell $500 headphones, and when I see people making these ridiculous what's that bag? I was just talking to my girlfriend, that premium bag or Primo, or what is that bag?
What Apple?
No, not Apple. No, just a bag that I think it began with a P. Some crazy expensive backpack or something like that. Supreme? Is it Supreme?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw stuff like that. You know, you see, and it's no different than Gucci purchase and clothes. You know, it didn't cost that much money to make those items, right? But what I'm saying is, if you can convince slaves that it really costs that much to make those items, that should show you how much money is out there to get. All you got to do is make them believe it. It doesn't have to be worth that, because everybody know Bose headphones were way better than Beats, but it didn't matter because the Beats were flashy and cool and they matched their shoes and shit like that.
And I saw LeBron wearing them. Oh, Prada. That's what they said, Prada. Everybody in the chat saying Prada.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a Prada bag?
No, it wasn't a Prada bag. It was
it probably was Supreme, huh?
Yeah, it was Supreme. It was definitely Supreme. Prada's the same category. I mean, Prada bags are expensive too. I'm just saying they all Gucci, whatever, right? But if you really look at it, you say to yourself, well, did it really cost, $30,000 to make that purse? Well, no, it didn't cost $30,000.
No, it don't. Right? I remember Cash was buying Balenciaga shoes for $750. That was so crazy to me.
Say what? Say it again?
Even in my slave days, Balenciaga shoes for $750. Get some big old fat orthopedic shoes.
Man, you can come up with something, man. Just come up with your own stuff, and come up with a good product, and they will pay you accordingly for it. Like, I found my gift. This is my gift right here. I can change a person's life, and I can prove it. Right? That's what I love about what I do. I can prove everything I'm saying. I'm never wrong ever. Right? That's what I love. So you find and then people will pay you for it.
No, you're right.
It really don't matter how much it costs. I mean, I don't care how much iPhone charges for their phones. I'm not gonna buy it.
You don't have iPhone?
No. No, I used to be iPhone many years ago, but when they took away the jack, the headphone jack,
that was an L. That was a huge L. I don't know why they did.
I said F that. You ain't controlling what I.
Listen. You know what? They took away that jack, and now they're selling record sales each and every time.
I knew what they were doing.
You got to understand what they did was they did it claiming that, okay, well, we're going to do is we're going to make the battery bigger, we're going to make it more waterproof, and this, that, and the other. And me personally, I stopped using corded headphones simply because they kept getting in the way. Like if you be at the gym or something, I prefer to use wireless headphones. But as far as whether it was a mistake or not, they're selling more than ever year over year since iPhone 7.
Well,
so
it's a business move.
not
I
a
get
mistake.
it.
It's not a mistake.
But no, it's not. No, it's a business move. But and another thing why I left iPhone, man, I remember one time my power cord went bad or something, and I tried to go to a store and I bought an aftermarket power cord, plugged it up, and said, "Oh, this is not an Apple approved." I said, fuck that. I'm out. You are not regulating my whole entire phone, and I own it. No, I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah,
this is on purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
and you got to carry. I remember when I had an iPhone, I had to carry a power cord. I kept the power cord in my car, at home, at my desk. You mean you've been in business all these years and you still can't get the battery right? I was like, that's on purpose. I am out. Went to Android, been Android ever since. Is that true? Does the Apple battery still suck? Do they still suck today?
No, Apple batteries are so good now.
Yeah.
Until like you
don't
almost
have to carry a power cord wherever you go now.
No, you
don't.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That stopped since Apple iPhone since iPhone 10s. It's been pretty good since iPhone 6. I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, and it charges up fast too.
Now the one thing I must admit with iPhone, there is no comparison with the touch screen. Okay, they got that on lock. I don't know. Once you go, you can't. It was very difficult for me to go from the Apple touchscreen to the Android touchscreen. I mean, Android touchscreen is still good, but it's not like Apple's touchscreen. Apple's touchscreen make you feel like you're really turning stuff when you're flipping, right? And you're really not, right?
Yeah, because I just don't. I ain't gonna lie. The iPhone, I just can't. You know what I mean? Like the ecosystem, like the MacBook and everything. I just think it's the best way to go. But Apple, you just can't. There's no comparison, in my opinion. I mean, I guess like the Android people, you can do a little bit more stuff with it. You can de-Google the phone and all that little stuff too.
Right.
But I mean, if you don't really care about that, then you just turn your location. Yeah, you can turn your location off.
You know what? My only focus is right now is to buy a house in cash. That's my only focus.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not investing in anything, gold, retirement.
How long do you think that's going to take?
I'm gonna say about 2 years.
2 years? Okay.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, we don't live in New York, big trucker. Get out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't live by those rules no matter where you live. The only rules I live by, millions of people out of work. That's millions of foreclosures. I don't care what the price, the value of anywhere in any state. Doesn't matter to me. There's millions of people out of work. That's millions of foreclosures. Millions. You think I'm gonna pay full price? Hell no, I ain't paying full price. I probably get 2 houses for the price of one.
And yeah, I mean, I was just saying that because big trucker like to let people know, not in New York,
right? And it really doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. People think People think it has something to do with location. It doesn't.
I don't know about that, LJ. I don't know about that one because San Francisco.
Tell me why you think that. I'm curious.
Okay, like let's look at San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of reason why it's so expensive because the building material and the taxes and all that stuff they have to do to put into buying a house, and the market itself is extremely expensive. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't think you could get a house in San Francisco for pennies on. I mean, I don't know. You're right though. I don't.
Okay, let's go through.
Probably somebody has. So
let's go through what you're saying. First of all, number one, who says San Francisco is expensive? Who told you that?
Man, MSNBC told me that.
Okay, all right, and they probably got together an average of a whole bunch of slaves that said San Francisco is expensive.
Right.
Okay, that's it. As soon as somebody says something is expensive, you gotta remember, it's not expensive to everybody.
Well, it's expensive to me.
A car is expensive, according to who? You?
According to my bank
really,
account.
when somebody says something expensive, they can only be talking about their own finances out loud in public.
I mean, come on, LJ. I mean, come on.
What?
Bro, the cheapest house in Silicon Valley is like $985,000.
Who told you that?
Bro,
I'm asking, where'd you get that information? That's all.
I mean, I guess I read it somewhere. I guess I don't know the specific, but
right.
If I look it up right now,
I would go to Silicon Valley and see somebody in financial trouble and get it for a quarter of that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right because you're saying it like I'm sure
When you
you
when
from
you're in
the
debt,
alien perspective, right?
when you're
Yeah,
in
I'm with
debt,
you.
housing market price. I mean, when you're not in debt, housing market prices never matter. No longer matter to you when you buy. Only when you sell.
So okay, I'm with you.
It's
Is
just a
that
way
why
of thinking.
you're
It's
right?
just
No,
a way of
you're right because I had that. No, you're right because you're right. If the market really don't mean nothing,
doesn't. Only when you sell. It does matter when you sell. Never when
right?
you
But
buy.
not buying, right? Exactly.
Not
You're
buying.
right. No, I'm with you. Okay.
It's just a that's a way of thinking. uh Years of programming, right?
Hmm.
Hey, let me go on to Zillow and figure out what this neighborhood is worth according to who? Zillow?
Yeah,
No,
and
thank you. I'm not gonna go by Zillow.
that's just slave repellent, huh? They just don't want no slaves around. They'll just
Well,
the
they
slaves will see that high ass number and be like, oh no, fuck that.
those prices apply to those who's financing, who need mortgages.
Mm. Yeah,
You,
because if your house paid off and you've been there for like 30 years and you just want to get up out of there, you probably not even looking to get the market price, right?
say that one more time.
Like I was saying, if your house is paid off
Yeah.
and you've been living there for like 30 years
Hmm.
in San Francisco and you just don't really care about market price, you just want to get out of there. Yeah, you probably wouldn't care what the market price. You just want to get out of there. So you're right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
No, if I have a paid off house, I'm gonna 100% care about the market price.
Yeah, what I'm saying though, like if you want, but if you like need to get out now, you know what I'm saying? Like,
If you got a paid off house, you don't need to do anything. You'll never need to do anything.
well, if you want to like,
Like what?
I don't know, you want to sell it for like hospital bills or something. I don't know. I'm just you never
You
know.
won't have
Emergencies
any
happen.
bill. If you got a paid off house, you're not gonna have any bills.
You won't have any hospital bill? Oh yeah.
Nope. Sure won't. You know what it takes to think about it, what you're saying. You know what it takes to have a paid off house? You know what kind of discipline you have to have a paid off house?
Yeah.
If you had enough discipline to get a paid off house, I promise you, you're not going to have any bills or debt or any of that stupid nonsense.
Hey, okay.
That's all for slaves, man.
No, I'm with you.
Slaves a paid off house. When I get my paid off house, that's going to place me ahead of millions of people. That one move alone is going to place me financially ahead of millions of people. There are trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. Trillions. That's millions of people. I'll be ahead of them all. With a
You
paid
gonna
off house.
buy?
That's it.
Hey, I'm glad you said that, man. Because I really want to move to Miami. And people, you slaves get to tell you, man, hey, Miami expensive. How you gonna do that? Stuff like that. And then you like, you're right though. Like for people in debt, it is expensive.
Everything's everywhere is expensive for people in debt. Don't matter. And then when people say that to you, they're telling you about their finances.
Yeah.
They don't know you. You could have $3 million in the bank, right? And you're coming to I'm about to buy a house, and then maybe this house is $1 million. Man, my houses are expensive, man. They cost $1 million. You'd be like, not to me. Shit, I can buy it.
Yeah, you're right. I drop this shit. I drop this shit cash right now.
Yeah, drop it. But you can't say that. I wouldn't.
You can't say it.
You think I'll tell a slave that I'm about to drop $1 million to pay for a house in cash? I would never do that ever.
Yeah, you got to go along with it. You sure is right.
Yeah,
Shit
man.
is
I tell them I got a mortgage and mortgage payments. Hey, I'll say, hey, what's the average mortgage payment around here? They'll tell it to me, and then I'll just say it. Oh yeah, my mortgage payment's about $3,500 or whatever. Some crazy number. You got to fit in.
Yeah, I got a crazy 15% interest rate. Yeah, I'm getting fucked. You just start making up shit.
Yeah, man. I just, I only had this much down. My credit score was this, and you just got to, so you will fit in.
I got child support, alimony. Just start throwing shit in there. Just to
yeah, man. I'm struggling, man. My this mortgage payment's killing me. Yeah.
That's how you got to do to fit in, right?
Yeah. See, this is my good friend right here, man. He said because he has a paid off house, right? And on some pretty prime real estate, right? And he's paid up. You got to have discipline to do that, man.
Yeah, man, and actually, did you get the email? I set up the consultation.
I did. I saw it.
Okay, cool. We're
All
gonna
right.
talk.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
saw
talk about that on the what's it
it.
called.
Okay. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I feel like I've been coming up here a lot, so I've been
No, that's
meaning
cool,
I've been
man.
meaning to do it. I just hadn't thought about it.
No, I know why you're here, man. You just got to get rid of that student loan debt so you can see.
Right. You already know.
You're gonna probably laugh at you probably be mad at yourself for a little while. You're gonna laugh at some of the probably things you thought or said or whatever, right? You'd be like, damn, I said that out loud. Yeah, said it out loud.
That should be funny, man. You the Bitcoin.
They don't like that. But you notice when I post like that, I don't really get trolls or nothing like that. You notice that?
No, that should be hurting. This shit sting.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
But nobody ever comes up and say, "Oh, L, you ain't nothing. Who are you?" Nobody ever says that because they know my math is right.
But when you go to other people's platform, they go crazy, boy. I'm
I
telling you.
don't really do that though. I don't really I don't really comment on other people's stuff.
No, I know, but I'm saying like them couple times you went on Ramil panel, I don't think I ever seen it get that heated before. Like when you came on, like we talk about other stuff
right
on the panel, but with that when it came to that debt, boy, that shit was heated.
Yeah, that's draining, man.
Yeah, because everybody's in debt, including the people who claim they aren't. Everybody's in some level of debt, and they just can't figure out how to beat it, or they're not disciplined enough.
Correct.
But you know what? I get the same shit when I'm trying to tell people about good, reasonable, long-term investments. Everybody want to get rich quick, so they're quick to argue.
Your way is probably too long for them.
You saw how hard they were fighting me over GameStop. Now, yeah. I'd like to say that I did them a favor by convincing them not to put money into the shit.
No, real shit.
Were you LJ?
Yeah, Big Truck. Yeah, you and Big Truck are probably like the most like heated topic. You know what I'm saying? Heated panelists on the streets.
Oh, you were telling them not to, Big Truck? You were telling
them to stay, put their money away from that shit.
Well, Big Truck, be honest. You were saying it was a pump and dump scheme.
Yeah.
And then everybody was getting mad because they were saying it wasn't.
Yo, listen.
But it kind of was, though.
Something looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, but it doesn't have maybe something on a duck that a duck has. That doesn't mean that it's probably not a duck. Everything about that shit looked and smelled to me like a pump and dump. And sure enough, now they're finding out one of the people who was promoting everybody to start throwing their money at it is a goddamn, basically an insider. I made a video about that. They're talking about this person may be facing some charges possibly, and that person's on the Reddit side. Just like I said, sooner or later, the government comes after you, sooner or later.
Oh, yeah, wasn't he like a securities?
Yeah, he was a securities broker. So the thing about it is, you got to understand, I work on Wall Street. If you know somebody who fucking works there and they're trying to tell you something, maybe you should listen.
What did he do?
But basically what he was okay, LJ, my original my original stance was that there was no way that a bunch of kids on Reddit came up with an idea about attacking hedge funds.
Oh.
Okay. And I was like, you know what? In order for this to work, there has to be somebody on the inside who sees a weakness but doesn't on their own have enough money to attack that weakness, right? Mm-hmm. So sure enough, now they're finding out, there were people on the inside. And it might end up being insider trading, or it might end up being a conflict of interest. But I was like, there's no way these dumbass kids on Reddit came up with this by themselves. No way. No way.
Yeah, and that's what sparked the whole debate. But yeah, it was. I mean, Big Truck ended up being right though. That shit was.
I end up being right because I have the experience, and the problem is, I know I'm dealing with people who just want to get rich quick, and it's like I keep seeing these scams popping up, and it would be one thing if this was a once in a lifetime thing. I'm seeing scams popping up left and right.
Well, you got to remember the times we're in, okay? Scams on the rise, that's a given because millions of people are out of work. That's a given, right? A lot of people's morals are going out the window because they're trying to survive. I get it. And people do things that they probably wouldn't normally do. People are going to believe things that they normally because out of desperation. And it is what it is, but They don't see that, like, scams don't make any mathematical sense. That's how to tell it's a scam. None of it makes mathematical sense. So, right, it's pretty obvious, right? But all they got to get you to do is believe the scam. Believe that somebody gonna send you a check, or this stock is gonna go through the roof and you're gonna
Go to
get
the moon.
rich.
We're going to the moon.
They were
1,000.
talking about hold the line. Shit dropped to
Hold on. I'm
$50.
making fun of them now. I kept telling them, I'm like, listen, guys, the government is going to respond. And when they respond, they'll do it in a way where there's nothing you can do. And sure enough, what did they do? The entire UK said, guess what? You can't trade American stocks no more. I mean, come on. It was obvious. But you know what? Maybe it's just an expensive lesson that some people needed to learn, I guess.
Wait, what? So you said they can't.
What happened was Robinhood started restricting trading, because you got to remember what they ended up doing was they bought all the shares, right? So what Robinhood did was they restricted trading so that you could only maybe buy like one share at a time. You couldn't buy like 10 and 20 and this, that, and other. And then the UK, the British, they made it so in some countries over there, they made it so you could not trade stocks for those meme American stock companies. So they basically said, okay, yeah, if you live over here in certain countries, you can't even buy GameStop right now. And there's nothing you can do because the government's got it locked down. They have triggers and tripwires in place just for when something like this happens. Now, sometimes the response takes more time than others, but they're prepared for you.
Yeah, I read this. This happened like in the 20s.
Oh, yeah. No. It's what caused the Great Depression. It's happened. It's happened a number of times.
Oh, yeah. So this ain't nothing new. It's just social media is involved now.
See, you know what it is? It just looks differently. See, in the old days,
it's packaged different, right?
Yeah, the names change, the people change, the faces change, but the scam never changes. It's like I look at Bitcoin. People can say whatever they want about Bitcoin. All I see is a Ponzi scheme.
All right, you guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up. I got an appointment. I hate to cut you off, Big Truck.
All right, yeah, it was great to be.
All right, it was cool talking, y'all.
Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody joining, man. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your participation.
Y'all have a good one, man.
You guys have a good one. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Much appreciated. Until next time, tomorrow Sunday. So look, tomorrow, 4 o'clock is going to be Q&A Sundays tomorrow, 4 o'clock. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. See you later.